Hey guys, Rob from the future here. Just to let you all know that there will be some points in the video where my camera just straight up freezes for a certain point in time because sometimes my computer hates me. So apologies in advance for that. And I was nervous throughout this video a little bit. So if I actually do repeat something, also apologies for that. But yeah, other than that. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Hey there guys, Robert here, and welcome to episode 57 of RobGioReacts. And it's been 1 year. Over a goddamn year since the last episode. And it's finally time for another one, guys. Hope y'all excited today, everybody. This is part 4 of 4. The final part of my 8,000 subscriber special. Parts 1 and 2 were Q&As. Part 3 was the fan art contest. And part 4 is going to be the triumphant and grand return of RobGioReacts. What you're watching right now. And when I said a grand return, I was not kidding in the slightest. Because we ran into a very special video today. A very special video, ladies and gentlemen. The video in question that I'm going to be reacting to today is Lyzette G's sixth sub-special. And if you don't know, the basis of what, this video is all about, it's basically just one of those, grab bag videos, grab bag type review, videos where, a certain reviewer reviews many songs that were requested by commenters, basically. And in Lyzette's case, they review 100 songs. 100. My mental health would never right now. And what I love about their sub-specials is that, they got progressively long over time. I'm talking 51 minutes, over an hour, also over an hour, nearly 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, and now this one's even better, nearly 2.5 hours. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this video that I'm going to be reacting to right before your very eyes is 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 22 seconds long. So, if you thought that RobGioReacts number 33 was meaty, buckle up, people. This is about to get even meatier. And on the topic of the songs that actually got into that video, I requested 12 songs. And out of the 12 that I requested, 5 got in. Freaking 5. I couldn't believe it. And those songs that I requested that got in are, in alphabetical order by the name of the song, Admitted You Don't Want To by Fred Again and I Jordan, Bleed by Deadmau5, Disenchanted by My Chemical Romance, I Can't Give Everything Away by David Bowie, and Rope by the Foo Fighters. Out of these 5, the only 2 songs that I could definitely see, be super high on the list or anything, it would have to be Disenchanted and I Can't Give Everything Away. Disenchanted because, come on, it's the Black Parade, absolute classic. And also, it's really just as incredible as, the big ones, like Welcome to the Black Parade and Teenagers, It's an incredible song, honestly. And I Can't Give Everything Away. Don't even get me fucking started with that song, man. It is so powerful. And you're definitely gonna see why. I have no words for that one. You know what? With this one, I'm gonna jump the gun with, my next prediction and say that I Can't Give Everything Away is possibly gonna be the number 1. That's my prediction. And, just after knowing, Lazarus got the number 1 spot in their last sub-special, I kind of thought that I like cheated with this request. I can't give everything away, but man, who cares? Who cares? It's like, in my opinion, like Bowie's best ever song. So I'm gonna try my absolute hardest to not be surprised if it gets #1, which I'm sure it will. But I'm gonna I'm gonna try to not hold my breath for it. But yeah, I have nothing much to say. Now, without any further ado, let's react to Lyzette G's 6th sub-special. Enjoy! Alright, this is it. The most nerve-wracking thing I think I'm ever gonna possibly watch. My heart is beating so fast, it could explode. I'm so nervous, so jittery about this, my heart could explode. 2 hours, 22 minutes, 22 seconds, and we're watching all of it. Let's see how well my suggestions do. In 3, 2, 1, go.
One day these videos are going to get so long that no one's going to even bother watching anymore. But that time has yet to come. Greetings. Some of you may be new here, so here's what this is all about.
Oh god, here we
months
go.
Ago, y'all
This
gave
part.
me a bunch of songs to review and rank, and this video is a fruit of my labor. Along with 75 songs that commenters voted on, I am also reviewing 10 songs for my patrons, along with 15 others that I handpicked from the comment section myself, making a grand total of 100 songs. Yay, math! Every second is crucial
Yay,
here,
math.
so let's just jump right in. The snake will lead the way.
The snail's nightmare team already started with it. Oh boy. Oh.
Yo, why in the world would you think that this would be something I'd enjoy?
First things first, rest in peace, sucker.
Yeah, for real, I did not like No Role Models, and also pretty off topic from this video here, but I actually got around to actually listening to all of these songs and ranking them myself, except I actually have 90 songs on my ranking, because up until this point, the 10 patron picks haven't been revealed. Again, up until this point, but yeah. I have it at my number 88 spot, so not completely the worst song, but man, there's just something about No Role Models that I just don't like at all. Can't really put my finger on it, but I just don't like it. Let's see what Lyzette has to say.
Okay, look, I'll give this song one thing. There is definitely a conversation to be had about the corrupt nature of Hollywood and the music industry, how plainly they are designed to break down the budding potential of artists in favor of cold capitalistic gain, resulting in an industry supported by plainly shallow individuals who only care for that which can grant them greater access to physical or social capital, with absolutely no regard for the so-called little man, who might continue to hold on to these humbler goals and ideals even as the community around him grows more and more vacuous. It's a worthwhile conversation. There's so much to pull apart here. But J. Cole doesn't really want to have this conversation. No. He'd much rather complain about all the hot women that don't want to fuck him.
No. Yeah.
Alright, full
The lyrics
disclosure,
suck.
I don't actually know anything about J. Cole. I've heard a few of his songs. They're not really for me, but I can definitely see the appeal. He's chill, personable, tells it like it is. But, God, the misogyny on the song is so goddamn blatant, no amount of good beats or chill vibes can get me to ignore them.
One time for my LA sisters, one time for my LA hoes.
Good job, dude. You've just discovered the Madonna whore dichotomy. You're so galaxy brain for that. How can we ever repay you? And yeah, we all know that sexism is an issue in hip-hop. Music in general, really.
Screw that song.
But you placing this less glamorized, homegrown image of womanhood on a pedestal doesn't make it better. In fact, it might even make it worse. You're just replacing one extremely narrow standard with another, and centering your personal gripes and feelings as you do so. It's so tired. I'm so tired.
Now I'm left with his hoes from reality shows. Hand her a script, the bitch probably couldn't read alone.
And before anyone comes at me with the, oh, so we can't talk about what kind of woman he's attracted to? I mean, sure, whatever. I don't actually care. J. Cole is totally allowed to have these backwards preconceptions and frame them as preferences, and he's allowed to rap about that. It's the fact that he's so proud of the fact that turns me off of this one, with the triumphant backing beat and boastful lyricism and the repetitive chorus that holds you by the shoulders and demands you sing along.
Don't save her, she don't wanna be saved, don't save her.
Yeah, it does kind of have like some catchy qualities to it, but man, yeah, I do not get behind this song at all. Bro, I just noticed from like, how long this video is going so far, I think this is actually the only song that's in the Nightmare tier. That's actually saying a lot, guys. Wow.
It's so shamelessly transparent. It's an anthem for men who hate women, but only a certain kind of woman, so that makes it okay, you know? I mean, you have to know the kind of people you're attracting with a song like this, and it's absolutely no shock to me how this has accrued so many streams. If you enjoy the song for reasons other than its lyrics, fine. Don't let me get in your way.
Mind-boggling, man. Mind-boggling. How it got so many plays.
It's so flagrantly terrible. Also,
Martin Luther King would have been on Dreamville, talk to him, nigga. My only regret could never take a Leah home.
bro needs to stop speaking on behalf of dead people. It's goddamn embarrassing.
And yeah, we're already in the bats here. Wow. Crazy. Wow.
Alright, too much brain juice wasted on a song that probably didn't deserve it. Let's just knock these next few out.
Oh, Too Late by Cash Cash featuring Lucas Graham and Wiz Khalifa. Let's see where I put it on my list here. I put it at my number 82 spot. And again, that's like discounting the 10 patron picks, since I do not know what those are going to be. They could be anything, and for that reason, I'm hella intrigued. But yeah, Too Late is a pretty mess song. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but yeah, I mean, Take Me Home with BB Rexa exists, and that's a way better song than Too Late. Just pretty meh to me. Let's see what Lyzette has to say.
The inspirational energy of the song is like the 2016 sound in a nutshell. Thing is, though, it's from 2021, so yikes. There's no way anyone could put out music this lazy and sterile and not expect listeners to see it for exactly what it is. An ankle-deep hip-hop ballad to slot in perfectly between, I don't know, Holy by Justin Bieber and Beautiful Mistake by Maroon 5 without anyone batting an eye. This is nothing. I feel nothing. No thanks.
Oh, wow. Number 98 is Nothing Ever After by Millennium featuring Motionless in White. Okay, wow, this is awkward, okay? Because I have it at my number 59 spot. Don't get me wrong, though, I did not, necessarily care for that new Millennium project. Pretty much his weakest studio album to date. Like even Fallen Embers from 2 years ago is way better than this, but I will say this, I think Nothing Ever After is one of the better songs from that album. I think it is a genuinely great song. Let's see what Lyzette has to say.
This style of alternative metal just ain't my thing. So much of it reads to me as loudness for loudness' sake, with little depth of quality behind much of it. It doesn't apply to
I can definitely see that.
I liked God Went North, but it definitely applies here. It's all empty loudness, muddy production, and lyrical themes that just do not appeal to me at all.
That drop is sick, though, I'm not gonna lie.
And once that breakdown comes in, well, it just feels all that more inelegant. Not my thing at all.
That drop is sick. Oh boy, we're in the Mets here now. Let's see what those are.
Okay, what the hell am I listening to?
Yeah, Cuáles Fronteras by Banda MS de Sergio Lizaraga featuring Ice Cube. Yeah, Ice Cube had to show up here for a fucking paycheck, I guess. Yeah, I have it at my number 89 spot. Pretty much the second worst song I have on my ranking. It's just really extremely bland. It's just really bland Spanish pop music that doesn't really stand out to me that much at all. Yeah, nothing much to say. Let's see what Lyzette has to say.
As I write this, we are in an awkward time in popular music history where regional Mexican music, of all things, is one of the most sought-after genres in this country. Why? Because nothing matters, I guess. With that said, in a few years, this song is bound to be viewed as an awkward relic of this very specific trend. I mean, it already is now. The sound is always going to feel at least a little nice to me, but my god, why did Ice Cube have to be here?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, to me, it's almost as unnecessary as Snoop Dogg's feature on the song Go For It by Corey Feldman. Yeah.
These rhyme patterns are so painful, man. I will say, the message of the song is pretty nice. A call to break down the cultural and physical barriers that breed prejudice. It's a good intention, but it's all too stiff and clumsy to sound good to me, so yeah, it's gonna be a pass. Again, what the hell am I listening to?
No! No! Wow. Yo, number 96 is admitted. Bro, that one of my requests. Getting the bottom 5 treatment. Oh boy. And I have it at like what is it? Number 8 on my list. Bro, this is personally my favorite Fred Again song, hands down. And it's from the USB EP, which is like, in my opinion, the best work he's done. Like, honestly, like in my opinion, like even better than like the actual life projects combined. And not to discredit any of those albums here, but yeah, like the USB EP, it's filled with some of his finest ever bangers, and Admitted is an example of that. Especially like the "Admit That It Hurts You" sample. Yeah, it's just wow. Like, I love the production on this thing. It's really like mesmerizing. Just nothing much to say. I think it's genuinely a masterpiece. Sorry if my reasonings do kind of sound a bit shallow here, but man, I love this song. So to see it at the bottom 5 on this list, it kind of stings, honestly. So yeah, let's see what Lyzette has to say.
I'm very much out of my element with this style of EDM.
Oh,
Momentarily pushing that aside though, I must ask, why in God's name did they choose this sample?
Huh? Really? I never actually thought of that. I never thought of that, actually.
Y'all probably already know this, but yes, this is Ghostin', a song Ariana Grande likely wrote and recorded during her healing process over the death of Mac Miller. At the very least, it's one of the most intimate tracks of her career, certainly one of the saddest. And, you know, I honestly don't know if I'm all that okay with what Fred Again's done here. Taking a song that someone made in the midst of deep mourning and pain, made less than 5 years ago, and placing a dance beat under it.
Oh god.
Even if it got the write-off from Grande herself, it does feel uncomfortable to listen to. And to be fair, it isn't even that interesting of a beat, if I'm being honest. There's little real progression, and nothing else for me to latch onto. Another pass. Already with the first Patron.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, again, seeing Admitted in the bottom 5 kind of stinks, but what are you gonna do?
Pick, and sorry it had to be this one. Honesty is the best policy, though.
Ooh, Patron pick, wow. Okay, I've never listened to this before, so we have Nude by G Idol. Never heard of this song. But I might go listen to it, see where it would like fall on my personal ranking of all these. But yeah, like again, what I love about these like patron picks that that Lyzette has like selected is that it could like these picks can literally just be anything. That's what has me like interested.
Alright, so here's what I do appreciate about the song. I do like the boldness in attempting its concept, namely its tackling of the wide topic of femininity and the standards with which it is twisted by mainstream society. Feminine beauty and sexuality are idolized, but on the flip side, conventionally attractive women are assumed to be shallow or stupid, unless proven otherwise. I also appreciate the Baroque pop hook of its chorus, which form a cool contrast to the punchy performances of these singers. Their domineering personalities certainly follow the assignment, or at the very least, they try to. Nonetheless, well, it's a pretty basic attempt at this issue. I'm sure there's a lot that's getting lost in translation, but well...
Oh,
That's
God.
essentially the crux of the argument here, which
Pretty,
might be
questionable
for the
lyrics
people
here.
listening to the song, but it's not anything I haven't heard before. The song has respectable intentions, but it seems like it's trying so hard to say we are subverting expectations rather than, you know, actually subverting these expectations. Which, overall, makes it a song that's far more intriguing to observe from a distance than it is to listen to up close. And those might be the most frustrating of all. Glad that these conversations are being had, but I don't know, we need to go deeper.
Okay, passable tier already. All right, let's go. Oh, Birds and Foxes by Whispers. Okay, let's see. According to my ranking of this whole thing, I have it at my number 81 spot. Yeah, it was initially going to be in, like, you know, somewhere in my bottom 5 on the ranking, but it grew on me a little bit. You know, in order for it to be in what I consider to be in just the almost into the decent tier, I guess. But yeah, I honestly think compositional wise, it's a little bland. I'm pretty sure I've heard many songs that actually do sound like this. So yeah, I feel indifferent on it, honestly.
First of all, 11 out of 10 song title. And, well, this is pretty nice. I mean, what else do you want me to say about it? It's a bunch of typical tropes of feel-good country folk music. Casual strumming, harmonica, whimsical vocals, lyrics about becoming one with nature, you know, all that stuff. And literally the only other thing that marks this as particularly unique is that it's sung by a guy who looks like this.
Yo, wow. Oh,
yeah, Whispers is apparently a VR musician who performs his work in the metaverse through a Fox avatar, and man, this is so outside my field of expertise, it's comical. Cool concept for a musician, Foxes are the best, but I don't know, I just don't get a whole lot out of this as a song. I've also never had a distinctly unpleasant time with it either. It's just some extremely wholesome folk music, no more, no less.
Cause I always want what I can't have. I think that
Alright, Spider-Man by M. Bayholt. Okay, let's see here. Looks like I have this at my number 73 spot, so yeah, I think it's a pretty well-written song. I think it's a pretty good sounding song too. Nothing really much to say about it, honestly. And again, apologies in advance for my shallow reasonings here, but yeah, Spider-Man, pretty solid song, I'm not gonna lie.
This sure is an M. Byhold song that isn't Them Little Bug, alright. Sonically, it's not at all risky, but all the pieces do fit together in all the right spots. I guess what does intrigue me a bit are the lyrics, wherein Byhold is actively hesitating on telling her crush how she feels, running this internal conversation about how this potential relationship simply won't matter because, according to her, they're just gonna break up in the end.
here I go again, already over before it begins.
It's weirdly self-defeating, and I guess maybe her young listeners could relate, but I don't know, part of life is about taking risks and making mistakes, and this all-encompassing anxiety about failure just isn't fun to dwell in, certainly not in the music I listen to. It sounds pleasant, but even then, yeah, not gonna lie, I can't see myself remembering this for very much longer. It's Fred, again.
Oh god, Turn on the Lights Again. By Fred Again and Swedish House Mafia featuring Future. Let's see, I have that in my number 20 spot. I don't know, Fred Again knows how to make some fucking good-ass bangers, dude. I love what I love what Fred Again and Swedish House Mafia did with, you know, the original song by Future. Like, you know, the way they kind of just, like, essentially flipped it and, like, remixed it and stuff. It's pretty good shit. It's great shit. Excellent shit.
Honestly, I enjoy this about as much as the other Fred Again song, but also maybe just a little more, considering I don't have to think about a potentially uncomfy sample source. Again, not my style of EDM, but there is something a little more appealing about that whining synth motif. It's got the nocturnal vibes I can always appreciate. But even besides that, I'm just about done with it by the halfway point, and I don't know, y'all, I got nothing.
Oh, another one of my suggestions already right out the gate. Rope by the Foo Fighters. I have it at my number 5. What is going on? Wow, it's just already we have like wildly different takes here. Damn, I love this song. I think it's one of the Foo Fighters like best ever songs. It's one of their best ever songs. And also certainly my favorite off of Wasting Light here. I have a CD copy of it. Yeah, that's how much I love this album. I think that album's underrated. And this song is underrated. That chorus rules. Like, yeah, listen, rope, I'm coming loose. Like, bro, this song, I love it. It's a banger.
To be honest, I'm not totally sure I enjoy Foo Fighters all that much. To be clear, they have some great tunes, some bona fide 90s classics for sure, but also most of what I heard from them falls more in line with the standard millennial mainstream rock sound of this one. The notes and beats are certainly in all the right places, but I don't get a whole lot of emotional resonance from this. It mostly feels to me like they're connecting the dots and not taking a whole lot of risks in the process. This is from the same album as A Walk, and man, does this just shrivel in comparison to that one. It happens.
Oh, Cheyenne by Jason Derulo.
This song is fine.
Yeah, Cheyenne by Jason Derulo at number 90. And let's see here. I have it at, where is it? I have it at number 68. So yeah, it's basically just, decent. It's actually pretty decent. In fact, this might be one of like Jason's like most underrated songs ever, if not the most underrated song he's put out. You know, I actually like really, this sort of like, 80s like sounding production this song kind of goes for. Yeah, and Jason is just like very charismatic on this song to me. Like very fairly charismatic here. Yeah, I kind of like this.
Here it is, the one that everyone insists is Jason Derulo's best song, despite the fact that Want to Want Me is right there. But I digress. The beat to this
Yeah,
one
Want to Want Me is another
solid,
like good, a great song from him.
Which is kind of the issue I have with a lot of pop songs from the 2010s, really. And most hits from the decade are an uphill climb for me at best, so we're already working in the red. But the real issue here is Derulo, who has like negative charisma on most things, and it's not all that much better here. The chorus is strong, but I just know it would have hit harder with a stronger performance. Someone like Usher or Neo would have definitely delivered. But other than that, y'all overhyping this one for real. Like I said before, this is perfectly fine. There are some pretty good parts even, but not much more than that. And I think we should be okay with songs just landing at perfectly passable sometimes. It certainly doesn't do a whole lot more for me, at least.
Kinda goods here already. Let's go. Let's see. Oh, Claire de Lune by Flight Facilities at number 89. First of all, W. Siriman. W. fucking Siriman, dude. Yeah, by the way, I have it at my number 1 spot on my own ranking. I mean, Claire de Lune is actually my 4th favorite track of all time. So, I mean, it had to be my number 1 on my own ranking by default. Dude, it is just one of the most beautiful ever. Like, it's just one of the most beautiful songs I've ever listened to. Just like, Christine Hoberg's vocals are phenomenal across the board, and the string section in particular in the second half, dude, it's still uplifting, man. I love it. I freaking love it. Still.
This song is fascinating to me. It's got this dreamy down-tempo vibe down to an absolute T, and that massages my brain so well. This is, however, also 7.5 minutes long, and while it does take some shifts in its sound, adding delicate layers to the atmosphere as it progresses, it also more or less plays all its cards by the final third, and very little of it stimulates me any further from that point on. I also tend to struggle with the style of ambient dance music, so there is also that. But at the very least, I can jump on board with its appeal and enjoy myself for a good part of its run. Yeah, it's nice.
It's a masterpiece in my opinion. Oh, Scandalous by Mystique. Okay, let's see where I put this one. All right, I have it at my number 56 spot over here. Yeah, nothing really much to say about this one, but it's a banger. It's a great banger. Not the best like girl group song I've heard in my life or anything, but I can hang on to this.
Nostalgia strikes again. In many ways, this was the sound of the early 2000s for me. Cluttered, processed hip-hop beats with an absolute abundance of flashy synths led by any assortment of pop stars professing their glossy sexiness to the world. I never thought a whole lot about this one, but revisiting it for this video, yeah, it's pretty decent. Firm and catchy, and the singers do a pretty good job, though it also never quite breaks out of that 2000s pop mold into anything super substantial. Still, much love to the horns here. They do bring some real weight to the chorus with that tense escalation that just works. It's pretty fun nostalgia, yeah. Todd and the Shadows watchers be like,
Hello? I wish I was
Yeah, I Wish by Skilo. Like, okay, let's see where I actually put this one. Yes, number 63. Like, when I saw this song appear on the list on their community tab here, like I didn't think it sounded all that familiar, but when I actually listened to it, as I was like putting together my own ranking of almost all of these songs here, I was like, yeah, I do remember this one. I actually do remember this one. Yeah, it's pretty nice stuff.
First of all, this chorus is extremely catchy, certainly iconic. Beyond that though, it's clumsy. I can understand the allure of Skilo playing a quote-unquote people's rapper, eschewing the typical boasting of the genre and instead honing in on big-time aspirations that listeners might relate to. But there also comes a point where these aspirations morph into some kind of petty gripes.
I never understood black, whether jocks get the fly girls and me I get the hood rats.
I mean, between him and J. Cole, dudes really like complaining about women they deem hoes and hood rats, don't they? It really sucks. I love that old school hip-hop sound for sure, but yeah, this isn't without its own issues. And I wouldn't blame anyone for finding this just a little annoying.
I can see that.
I'm not here to make friends, y'all.
Wow. Virtual Insanity by Jamiroquai at number 86. Okay, I have it at my number 22 spot. Wow, something about this song is just so funky, dude. I love it.
Trust me, I get it. That funky disco-laden groove, jazzy piano undertones, the absolutely soaring hook, all its charm is laid out for all to see, and I'm not here to burst anyone's bubble. No, Jamiroquai is gonna do that for me. I mean, for such a naturally groovy song, dear God, is it a bleak one. Above all the jazzy dance fluff are lyrics concerning anxieties over advancements in human technology and the terrifying consequences that have and continue to result from such. And, I mean, in a 2023 landscape, yeah, this does resonate. And I know this is mid-90s era concerns we're talking about, and pop music is certainly allowed to be socially conscious, but in this case, I'm just not getting much out of it.
All right. Still love this song.
The conclusion that seems to arise here is that the world is screwed, and there's nothing we can do about it because we'll just continue to feed into the human desire for progress now and forever. It's this weird doom spiral of a song, but also convenient to ignore because of how aesthetically pleasing the rest of it is. We're not here to think, we're here to dance along with the funny man in the empty room. And lest you scold me for paying too close attention to the lyrics of a pop song, huge crime that is. Well, I've never really liked the song a whole lot otherwise. It's catchy and funky, but in that repetitive, no fuss, no muss pop music way. So what we're left with is doom and gloom over a dance beat with little bite or closure to speak of. And it's one thing if the speaker is singing of his own personal feelings, but the song actively tries to pull the rest of us down with it, and I don't know if I vibe with that. There are ways to highlight the bleakness of technological advancement in productive ways, which we will get to later, but for now, yeah, I'll stick with the cool music video and call it a day.
Alright. Oh, Only Love Can Save Us Now by Kesha at number 85. Okay, I have it at my number 80 spot here, so not that really different takes here. But yeah, I think this is a pretty decent song. One thing I don't really necessarily enjoy about the song is kind of like, you know, like the jarring transitions, between the build-ups and drops. But other than that, I think it's pretty decent. I have not listened to the new Kesha album yet, but songs like this have me real interested here.
Nearing the end of the 9-year turmoil of Kesha's lawsuit against Dr. Luke, she released Gag Order, an album that, at last, airs out many of these strains and grievances in her own voice. This song is about as jarring and difficult as the rest of the album, with its unadorned verses stabbing above minimal bass beats and blunt honesty. I do dig the rawness of these verses, as well as the more anthemic gospel prowess of the chorus. It feels a tad too short. I really think a proper bridge and final chorus could have tied everything together and also make for some good catharsis. Then again, it's not really a song intended to be satisfying. It's a song she made as the output of her legal struggles, and more power to her, regardless of what else I have to say. In any case, I really hope she's doing okay.
Yeah, me
Todd
too.
and the Shadows watchers be like,
Oh, Never Had a Dream Come True by S Club 7. Okay, let's see where I put this here. Number 67. So yeah, another really pleasantly good song. Like the whole production is really pleasant on the ears. Good stuff.
Not me though. I've been very familiar with the song since I was about 8 years old. But anyway, yup, this sure is an early 2000s teen pop group heartbreak ballad, alright. There's some special little things going in its favor though. The chorus melody is pleasant, the production is lush and lovely, and this lead singer can certainly belt. As a whole though, it only mildly sets itself apart from the bulk of the ballads of its type. It's pretty sweet in its own way though, and this key change is absolutely tops.
I just can't say goodbye.
Yeah, I remember when a lot of I really do remember a lot of ballads actually kind of used to do that, so yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, it's good nostalgia. No more, no less.
Woo! Just Dance 2010 or something intensifies. Yeah, number 83, Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles. Yeah, I have it at number 17. Just an absolute classic, dude. No more, no less.
Yeah, definitely makes sense why someone would want me to cover this, the number one song of 1987, considering I paid no mention to it in my own 87 video. But I mean, let's just say there's a reason for that. Not to say that it's bad, it's certainly not. That tropical percussive groove is quite sticky, emphasized by the bouncy, instantly ear-grabbing melody. But it's also a very weird song. The structure is kind of strange, with just 3 verses and a guitar solo.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Yeah, there's a chorus, but that's just the title line limply falling into place every so often. And the song itself isn't really about anything. These lyrics are kind of nonsense, feeling even weirdly improvised at bits. Not to mention the pretty shallow depictions of Middle Eastern and Asian cultures, but you know, different times and all. I don't know, I do like it. These ladies are certainly charismatic enough to make it all work, but it's also very weird. It was also likely never meant to be analyzed any closer than surface level, so I'll stop while I'm ahead. I mean, I did say that patrons can give me any song of their choosing. No judgment here.
Alright, let's see what it is. Oh, That's the Way It Is by Celine Dion. Okay. Don't know where this would place on my ranking here, but sounds great.
A couple years past the bombastic success of her Titanic theme, Celine Dion was now a household name, a bona fide superstar. And what better way to usher in his newfound royalty position than by recording a song with help from the one Max Martin himself? At the surface, this feels like just another inspirational pop ballad, and yeah, in the grand scheme of things, that's basically what it is. Nonetheless, man, I wish more of these kinds of songs were this free and lively. I mean, it certainly plays it safe with its glossy tunes and conventional pop structure, shocking absolutely no one. But it's a pretty nice tune wherein Celine offers some life advice to a friend who is unlucky in love, assuring them that they will grow out of this messy spot in their life eventually if they only have a bit of patience and believe in themselves. When you want it the most, there's no easy way out. When you're ready. It's, yeah, some pretty safe, biteless wine mom core, but I don't know, I like it pretty well. This chorus especially kills. I can see why it's become a staple of adult contemporary pop radio over the years. And of course, it wouldn't be a proper Celine ballad without a good old key change.
Hell freaking yeah.
Ultimately, this is something I can't see myself properly returning to on my own, but it's also some super solid nostalgia, and you know, few things get to my heart more than that. I am confused.
No! Wow! Bleep by Deadmau5 at number 81. Oh god, I have it at my number 2 spot. Wow. Yeah, Bleed, like I said in I think my second Q&A of my sub special, this song is actually my 5th favorite song of all time. Yeah, it's just really one of the most beautiful songs I've ever had the pleasure of hearing. And also my favorite off of my favorite album of all time. Yeah, no words can describe the enjoyment I have of this song, and just like the backstory behind it makes this like all the more devastating. If you guys don't know, a fan of Deadmau5 named Robert Clifford died in a tragic car accident on the way to one of his shows. And, you know, just Deadmau5 sought to put this track together and play this live for the first time. And yeah, it's just an absolute emotional gut punch. Like, dude, like just it may be like 4 minutes in length, at least on the album. At least, you know, when it comes to like the album version of that song. But dude, it still leaves just one of the strongest impressions ever. Let's see what Lyzette has to say.
Okay, so I saw this random Deadmau5 song was requested for me. I gave it its first play, and are we just doing Sea of Voices again?
Well, yeah, that's right. I think Sea of Voices actually appeared in one of their sub-specials one time. Yeah, it could definitely, it definitely has like, kind of like that same, like, kind of like ambient vibe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the Porter Robinson track I gave high accolades to back in my 1,967 subscribers.
Yeah.
And for good reason. It's got that brilliant division of its 2 parts, the calm followed by the clash, both of which complement each other in the most beautiful ways. This one is the calm without the clash.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is fine. Not everything can be Sea of Voices after all. And to be fair, this is a very pretty melody. The light twinkles glistening over this bed of synths, which all create a very peaceful, tranquil atmosphere. It's just so nice. But then it kind of just dissipates. It's a pleasant track, certainly very chill, but it also feels less like a song and more like an interlude or transition into something more substantial. I simply don't know what to do with this except vibe for a while. Which is probably the point anyway, so take this all with a grain of salt.
Alright, Idol by Yoasabi at number 80. Let's see where I put this here. Yeah, well, I have it at number 85. I love a lot of, you know, Japanese music. I think Japan's got some great artists. I just think Idol's kinda meh, honestly. Certainly not a bad song or anything, but not one that I'm like willing to like hang on to long term.
I have a pretty good track record with YOASOBI, but this doesn't really sound like any YOASOBI song I've heard before. It's pretty wild and scattered. It feels like every few measures is doing something completely different than the previous part. Honestly, the best part of the song for me is this melody at the first verse. It's really fun. But sadly, the song is so chaotic, it never really goes back to that. Instead, it spends a lot of time dwelling in varied atmospheres that range from juiced up rap verses to, well, a juiced up version of a regular YOASOBI song. It's a little frustrating. I can admire the ambition of everything that went into this, but I've never really gotten comfortable enough to say that I love it, unfortunately.
Oh, Painted Black, Rolling Stones.
I'm not here to make friends.
Yeah, Painted Black at number 79. Okay, let's see where I put this here on my own ranking. Yeah, number 58. Yeah, just a really like great Rolling Stones song. It's an absolute classic. And yeah, I think it would be right up there with I Can't Get No Satisfaction as my favorite song from this band. Love this one.
This was requested in part because the 1966 collab I did with Sean only had him saying his piece on the tune. But yeah, let's just say that there was a reason why the song was left off the list proper. And that reason is me. First things first, I don't really like the Rolling Stones in general. There's some good tunes in their lineup, don't get me wrong. For the most part though, yeah, I'm gonna pass. I'll also give that this was a pretty original sound for the time, specifically with that iconic sitar line adding a more mystical, psychedelic mood to the song. Pretty unique for the day. On the other hand, I mean, this is a song about depression and disillusionment following a breakup. Yet I've heard this a million times in my life, and I just don't think it's hit me the way it's supposed to. The melody is fine, but it never changes key or attitude or tempo or anything. There's no emotional impact here. It's always just felt like standard 60s rock music to me, which, yeah, there are worse things. I'll give you that much. I do like this one alright. I've just never loved it as much as everyone else seems to. Oops. Want to note that this next Patron pick just keeps growing on me with every listen, so who knows if even I agree with myself here. Anyway, let's go.
Alright, let's see, Patron pick. Let's Go by Stuck in the Sound. Also sounds great, sounds good. Don't know where I placed this one because my own ranking does not include the Patron picks. But yeah, sounds good, I guess.
Stuck in the Sound is a French alternative indie rock band with a few records under their belt. Otherwise, I'm going in pretty blind here. Anyway, yeah, this is a weird song to me. I can truly see all the pieces that would make this a great song. Those guitars are robust and personable, the groove is nice and steady, the vocals are calm, though impassioned when they need to explode. Not gonna lie, I always go straight into headbanging mode once that guitar hook pops in. It's so good. Nonetheless, none of these parts ever coalesce to their full potential. There's always this nagging sense that something is missing here. Luckily for us, that guitar solo at the end has some pretty radical energy, but even still, it does feel like too little too late. It's so much anticipation toward a payoff that doesn't quite satisfy. Yeah, this is frustrating. But like I said, it has been growing on me lately, so who knows? Check back with me in a month or so, I guess.
Oh, Somewhere Only We Know by Keen at number 77. Okay, I have my number 9 spot. Oof, man, oof, oh my god. Yeah, another absolutely classic song, and I guess what makes the song so special to me are like the lyrics, which, I mean, they really just like cut through like a knife to me. Just, yeah, really love this one too.
And And the nostalgia keeps on coming. Man, this song reminds me of when I would obsessively watch music videos as a kid. This was one that got a ton of VH1 play back then. It's a pretty solid Coldplay-esque piano ballad that dwells on those wistful memories of times long gone and places disappeared. So yeah, a song I'm nostalgic for that's actually about nostalgia. I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. Damn, that's a line that sure hits harder these days. It's a lovely tune, but its era-specific production is a bit of a letdown. The song is a bit flat, and these pianos never do much more than march along at the same pace the whole song, which can get a bit tiresome. Big props to this vocalist though, he really makes the emotional swell of the song hit at its most important moments.
Yeah, really forgot to mention, I can't get past this point without even mentioning the lead vocalist, man. Oh my god. Just, yeah, he delivers the lyrics of the song with just so much passion, dude. So much passion. That's what makes this song not only a classic, but also just excellent in general. And again, really still holds up.
Yeah, I like this.
Oh, Ready to Fly by Subfocus and Dimension. I have it at my number 42 spot. It's really great drum and bass track. I do love me some drum and bass.
Man, this sure is some pretty bog standard drum and bass, ain't it? To be clear, I do enjoy me some drum and bass. In general, the more aggressive, higher BPM flavor of electronic and dance music is what does it for me the best. What can you say? Your boy loves to dance. From my perspective, Ready to Fly feels like a return to the basics of D&B. Pitch-shifted vocals, static drum patterns, and synth waves. It even has this part. Which is a straight call.
Yeah, wow. That second drop is still sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Back to 90s and 2000s happy hardcore if I ever heard it. Thing is, I absolutely eat up this old school sound. It's not doing a whole lot outside of these good vibes and dance rhythms, but that's more than I could say about the majority of today's popular EDM, and it's certainly pleasant enough for a good spin every now and then. Thanks, Lukes.
Oh, Torero by Cheyenne. I probably butchered the name of the artist in such a bad way. I do apologize in advance for that. Let's see where I actually put this. Yeah, I have it at my number 83 spot. So, yeah, I think this is another. I think it's a pretty meh Spanish pop song here that doesn't really stick out to me in a notable way for me. Yeah, Torero's alright.
Well, this is an unexpected banger. This song brings to mind the glory days of the 90s Latin explosion, although this is a bit more aggressive in tone than anything that Ricky Martin or Enrique Iglesias ever gave us. In fact, it feels more like a melding of this Latin pop boom with the Eurodance trend, particularly in its super juiced up energy and buzzy synth rhythms found throughout. Anyway, besides all that, Jesus, this chorus is an absolute killer.
Yeah, that chorus kind of bangs, but yeah.
It's damn near impossible for me to listen to this one without dancing along at least a little bit. It's ridiculously fun. Big, stupid fun. In any case, no one can say I can't appreciate a good party tune from time to time. Olé!
Boy, more goods here. Let's go! Alright, let's do this.
Alright, y'all. At this point, I have to emphasize, this ain't your mama's subspecial. This is what you have to anticipate from this point forward.
Is that what I think it is?
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Oh, To the Hellfire by Lorna Shore. My dumbass was thinking they played Thorn Woos the Wound for a second, but yeah, this is To the Hellfire by Lorna Shore. Yeah, I have it at my number 25 spot. Yeah, I've been loving metal these days, man. Metal is a genre of music that I've just been loving more and more and more as time goes on for whatever reason. But yeah, this song's pretty sick. It is pretty sick.
Now, I don't know a lot about metal as a whole, but I do know that I love dense, potent atmospheres in music, and my goodness, the general feel of this track is so damn cool. Really dark sonic textures supported by those chugging guitars that make every passing second feel as heavy as a ton of bricks. And that's before mentioning the absolutely inhuman screams of this vocalist.
Yep, that is surely some metal screams, alright. Yeah, they're so freaking cool, these screams.
This guy is so good at this. I can't even comprehend how noises like this can disperse from the human body. It's so wild. With all that said,
yeah, very mind-boggling
man,
for sure.
do I not like how this track is mixed. These verses sound weirdly quiet at points and then erupt into sudden, jarring loudness, which might have been effective had not the entire track not sound so damn compressed. It's a tad frustrating. At the end of the day, though, none of this really matters.
Heavy, man! Oh my god.
It's a ridiculous song that balances the terror of its atmosphere with a genuinely intriguing concept and massive vocals to match. I'll take so many other metal subgenres over this, but I'm pretty fascinated nevertheless. It's gonna stick with me for sure. Yeah, let's just go ahead and knock this one out as well.
Aww. And I literally just mentioned that song in the... Bro, I literally just mentioned this song. Oh yeah, Storm Who's the Wound by Victory Over the Sun. Honestly, metal song of the year, man. And Dancing Monster to My Soft Song, metal album of the year, man. Metal album of the year, man. Oh my god. And yeah, by the way, I have it at my number 19 spot. Yeah, I love this song. 16 minutes of just pure nightmare fuel. And yeah, it all works. It all works. For some reason, it's just, right, it's just so accessible to me, like, for some reason. Like, damn, this is so freaking cool.
There are a few other types of music that intimidate me more than this. A 16-minute multi-movement experimental black metal odyssey from a one-woman act. And not gonna lie, this is really cool, and I'm very glad this exists. Yet, I will also say that this lies in that vein of metal I've never had much use for. The long, sprawling types that stay more or less focused within the same degree of sonic texture through its entire length. I mean, okay, it does change up its atmosphere from time to time without ever losing this focus. Plus, a lot of these sounds and riffs are incredibly sharp, and I can definitely sense the craft on a technical level. It's all pretty nifty. But am I moved by it in any particular way? No, not really. Being honest with myself, I'm left pretty cold about this for the most part, which is aggravating because I see what's there and I want to love this, but I don't know. Again, I'm very glad this exists. I just know I'm missing something pretty crucial is all.
Alright. Oh, yours truly, 2095 by Electric Light Orchestra at number 72. Let's see where I actually put this here. And I have it at number 47, so yeah, pretty great song. I don't know, I have nothing much to say, really. Great song that I can totally hang on to and come back to from time to time.
Well, this is interesting. This isn't the first time I've covered Electric Light Orchestra in a subscriber special, but, well, I definitely prefer this one the least over the ones I've covered. And I think it's the mere fact that its individual facets are just weaker than the others. The melody is bouncy and firm, but not quite all there. The instrumental is good and wacky, but it's weirdly hookless, and nothing really sticks to the brain completely. The lyrics are an intriguing sci-fi concept about technology looming over romance, but it feels kind of basic and doesn't hold much emotional weight. It's an ELO song for sure, so it's gonna be pretty good at least. Just not great is all.
Alright. Aww. Hollywood Baby by 100 Gex. I'm going to say something that not many people are going to like, but I personally did not really enjoy that new 100 Gex record. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I actually do understand the appeal behind 10,000 Gex, but their style of hyperpop isn't really anything for me personally. I mean, Hollywood Baby, I mean, it is one of the better tracks from that album, but it's a pretty meh track to me. I also kind of feel indifferent on that song, and yeah, I have it at my number. I have it at my number 87 spot. Yeah, it's all right.
100 Gex made a name for themselves by acting as a poster child for that overly aggressive, ultra-distorted breed of hyperpop. Nonetheless, I've always found they're at their strongest when they lean more into the straight pop angle, or pop-punk in this case. At the surface, this feels very much like a 90s Blink-182 track with the bass boosted all the way up.
Yeah, it definitely has that, like, Blink-182 vibe going for it now that you mentioned it.
That's kind of all it's got going for it. It's a solid guitar riff, but it also leans quite a bit on the groove without much shift in any direction. It's a lot of fun, and that hook is catchy enough, but by the end, well, I'm just wishing for a little bit more. Time for another patron pick, and, well, I can't say this isn't a bold choice.
All right, let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Satori Part 3 by Flower Travelin' Band. Okay, I don't think I've heard of this one before, but I think it would go somewhere fairly high on my own ranking of it if I heard the whole thing. But yeah, really interesting stuff right out the gate.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is one of the most unusual patron picks I've gotten so far. A long, sprawling instrumental piece from 1971, characterized by that one melodic motif and a doom metal sound akin to early Sabbath. The Japanese origins of this band, however, account for a more angular characterization to these guitar tones we don't often get in Western rock music, and I'll admit, it's a very cool sound. I'll also admit, however, that I'm not quite as connected to the second half, which pushes away the signature melody in favor of a more upbeat jam session. The guitar work continues to excel, alongside some pretty dope bass rhythms. I'm simply more into the spooky stuff, man. What's notable to me is that this is a part 3, which leads me to assume that the rest of the album may offer a more complete sound to this instrumental, perhaps the additional context needed to really make it pop. As it stands on its own,
that definitely
though,
has me
I
intrigued
have
too.
two complaints. This is some good old-fashioned psychedelic garage rock, and I can always use some of that in my life. I mean, yeah, a song with this title was always gonna be number 69. Are you kidding me?
Sometimes I just feel so malicious.
Oh, wow, yeah. Drildo by Wargasm at number 69. Nice. Sorry if that was cringy coming from me, but okay, let's see where I actually put this. Oh yeah, there it is. I have it at my number 62 spot. So, yeah, again, not completely wildly different takes here. Yeah, I think this song is pretty good. Pretty good. It really has nice, like, interesting, like, phases going into this. It has kind of like this like dark trance, like, you know, it has these like dark trance kind of like parts to it, and all of a sudden it's kind of like a rock song that goes hard, man. Like this song's crazy, and that's kind of like what I like about it, I guess. Yeah.
So there was a time in my past where this kind of rough, nihilistic industrial metal would be exactly up my alley. That time is long gone, but I don't know, something about this just hits, you know? My first impression of Wargasm is that they were a harder version of D'Antwoord, but they're actually nothing like D'Antwoord now that I think about it. And I'm not completely sure how I describe the appeal of this song in particular. It just goes hard as hell, dudes. The The rowdy trade-off between these two vocalists is what initially got me interested, but the killer riffs and layered mechanical grooves are what keep me begging for more. It's so over the top, but wears this jagged hedonism on its sleeve and doesn't try to make itself sound more important than it is. The appeal is incredibly immediate. You aren't going to get more out of it than what these guys are slapping you in the face with, and to be honest, I'm not really interested in seeking out more. But as an utterly unhinged little pocket of debauchery, it's a hell of a romp. Well, this is certainly different.
Okay, let's see. Oh, the Gravelsis Polka by Kaiser's Orchestra. Kaiser's Orchestra. It's a name similar to the name of one of my regular commentators. Hi, Kaisenberg. Alright, so I have it at my number 24 spot. Yeah, really loved it on first listen. I think it is, excellent. Like, I love the dramatic, just like nature of this song, like a whole lot.
I gotta say, these are some of the most interesting submissions I can ever get in these videos. Songs from artists I've never heard of, from a genre I don't know much about, performed in a language I don't speak. Anyway, this is a pretty cool Eastern European polka number. The bombastic horns and big percussion all make for such a nifty sound. From the translations I've gathered, the speaker plays the role of the devil, who is making himself known to the song's subject and staking his claim onto the trajectory of their life. In ringmaster form, he sermonizes on free will as a mere illusion. On the contrary, he's dictated the entire course of their life, and as their death looms ever nearer, reveals that he has known exactly how it will end this entire time. But it's a playful nihilism, and the theatricality of the tune, coupled with these interesting melodic quirks, keep me invested the entire time. Gotta keep my eyes peeled for these Kaiser's Orchestra fellas in the future. You know.
Yeah, same here. I do really gotta keep my eye on these guys too. Also, hold on a second. I gotta charge my computer here because I noticed that it's at a low battery. Okay, let's continue.
It wouldn't be fun if all my Liz picks were songs I absolutely loved. Not gonna lie though, this one's pretty fire.
Oh yeah, Experience by Victoria Monet with Khalid and S.G. Lewis. Yeah, S.G. Lewis, really a great producer here. I think he also was responsible for producing that Dua Lipa song Hallucinate, which, man, it should have charted on the Billboard Hot Dance charts. But yeah, let's see where I put it at my number 36 spot. So yeah, another really great song. It's just so groovy, man. Nothing much to say about it, just really groovy.
Yeah, I might have picked this one out on the sole basis of pure surprise. I hadn't heard a single thing from Victoria Monet outside of that one song she did with Ariana Grande that one time. But you know, if even just a fraction of her work sounded this good, well, I guess I better check her out. Monet's cooing at this
So
hook
smooth,
perfectly
oh my
melds
God.
with new disco vibes here, and the softer, warmer haze envelops it all so wonderfully. Khalid is here too. He doesn't supply a whole lot, but he's a welcome presence. I mean, it's literally Khalid, so...
Yeah.
It's a nice little cluster of pleasant atmosphere that is not even a little bit groundbreaking, but is nonetheless just too delectable to pass up. And here's me passing it along to the rest of y'all in hopes that it becomes someone else's new favorite song.
Yeah. Alright, Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe by Barry White at number 66. And let's see where I actually put this one. Okay, number 74. So it's a good song overall. Again, not a song that I necessarily have a lot to say about, but just, I don't know, it's a pretty good track. I don't know.
Has there ever existed a single sexier person than Barry White? I highly doubt it. I mean, dude's voice alone is absolute sex incarnate.
Yeah, that... yeah, that low, raspy voice. It definitely sounds sexy, NGL.
absolute chills at this intro for sure. Jesus Christ. But okay, yes, there are other parts of the song here, and, well, honestly, it's pretty standard disco fluff. I mean, it's good disco fluff, impeccably assembled disco fluff, thanks to White's talent behind the production booth. But just like a good chunk of 70s disco, this just feels like a big glossy commercial, and the product they're selling is the very concept of Barry White. He's had catchier numbers, hell, more interesting numbers. But still, this is perfectly pleasant, and I'll always let this play out to the end.
Oh, yeah, and 65, Chocolate by Leo E.A. Erie, yeah. I actually did, like, yeah, someone actually in my second Q&A asked me, like, who are some, like, Japanese artists to like? And, like, I mentioned Leo E.A. Erie and her song Chocolate being the only song I've listened to from her so far. And, okay, let's see where I actually put this. I think I remember putting it, yeah, I have it at my number 40 spot. So, yeah, another really great song, really just like beautiful, pleasant all around composition wise. Leo's voice is beautiful, to say the least. Sounds very alluring, her voice, her vocals. Yeah, I just love it. Nothing much else to say.
Jeez, this tune is so freaking pretty, it's not fair.
Agreed.
Ierie's sweet vocals lie atop this clear and open production field, all combining to create this immensely heartwarming little pop ballad. The melody is just too goddamn cute, and I don't really have a whole lot to say about it otherwise. It's an incredibly pleasant combination of a bunch of wholesome elements that all make for a super endearing pop song, and that's really all it's got going for in the first place.
Shit, the high notes she hits.
Yeah, there's that guitar bit. It's
love her
short, but pretty
tone
effective,
on this one.
Yeah, I don't know, this is a song that stands out particularly for its unbreakable charm factor and little else, but it does that one thing very well, and that's so cool.
It is
Damn,
cool,
but
man.
I love Peter Gabriel. And or The Weeknd.
Okay,
Yeah.
64, In Your Eyes by Kylie Minogue. Let's see where I have. Yeah, I have it at number. Was it In Your Eyes? Because I actually have the two Kylie Minogue songs in like almost the exact same placement here. But yeah, In Your Eyes, I have it at number 61. Just a really solid dance pop song from Kylie. Yeah, just really liked this one.
Kylie is a queen and all that, and this is a pretty cool sound for her. I do appreciate the Y2K era glossiness she was experimenting with at the time, and the glittery atmosphere of this track, very clearly inspired by the French house of the era, is just stunning. I will say, well, there might be a reason why this failed to live up to the popularity of Can't Get You Out of My Head.
I've been watching you lately. I want to make it with you.
Simply put, the mood here is way more downbeat and the hook is weaker. It's some good danceable vibes for sure, but the clean disco slickness simply makes for less to grab onto. One can only live off vibes alone for so long. Still, it's a total jam though, just that she's had much better. Oh, will you look at that? More drum and bass.
Oh! Yo! I love The Fountain by Pendulum featuring Steven Wilson. As a matter of fact, I have it at my number 7 spot, dude. And it's from Immersion. Yeah, I have a CD copy of that too. I love Immersion, and I love The Fountain. This song is so goddamn underrated. And same thing with Self vs. Self with In Flames, dude. Yeah, I love The Fountain. Production's amazing, as expected from these guys, and Steven Wilson, you know, the Porcupine Tree frontman himself. Yeah, Steven Wilson's vocals fit extremely well with this production here. Just, yeah. Love The Fountain, man. Oh my god. Yeah, man. Yeah.
But herein lies the difference between drum and bass that simply follows the tropes and drum and bass with texture, emotion, something more interesting hiding beneath its folds. And it certainly helps that we got the guy from Porcupine Tree at the helm.
and all this stuff, yo. This song's a banger,
This
dude.
is an interesting collab, alright, with this fusion of EDM and prog rock offering up some really interesting sonic textures, namely in those clashing guitars and piano flourishes. These hooks and parts all kind of fold upon themselves after a certain point, but it's consistently pretty cool throughout. I think I'll still take Crush as my pendulum banger of choice, but this is still incredibly fascinating, yeah.
Love that track too.
Hey, you guys ready for a surprise?
I hear him.
Oh, The Man with the Child in His Eyes by Kate Bush. Yeah, yeah. Also, happy 38th anniversary to her classic album, Hounds of Love. But anyways, I have it at my number 23 spot. Yeah, this song from Kate Bush, it's again, just like what I said for Chocolate from earlier, it's just really, really beautiful. I don't know what else to say about it.
I go to sleep.
Kate Bush in the bottom half of Lyzette's subscriber special? Who do they think they are? Crow Cacophony? In all seriousness, okay, first things first. God damn it, man. How the hell does someone write this song at 13? It's just not fair. Yeah, this is a Kick Inside era Kate Bush song, so it's got the traits that come with that territory. Mainly the strong Baroque pop influence and a voice that is, well, a lot younger than I'm used to hearing from her.
Telling me about the sea. All his loves till eternity.
It's a delicate piano-driven love song, and well, that's about it. Lovely in sound, but it's also hard to deny that it's a bit underwritten, with a flatter production style to boot. I will say that I do adore the moment in the chorus where the French horn comes in.
He's here again.
It's all
There's a
serene.
vague innocence to this track
this,
that makes it
music.
obvious that it was written by someone so young. As a result, well, there's not a whole lot of depth here. It's some pretty nice poetry, but ultimately I don't really know what to do with it. She's simply done much better. Also doesn't help that on the album, the song is followed up by...
Oh, Wuthering Heights, yeah. It's another great Kate Bush song.
the Baroque pop ballad to end all ballads. Yeah, enough said.
Ooh, okay. Bro Hoof by Violet Pony at number 61. Huh. That's higher than I was expecting. And obviously, I didn't even request that, as you can see here. But yeah, wow, this is actually higher than I expected. But anyways, I have it at a number 76. Yeah, pretty decent song. I'm not a brony, obviously, but yeah, I think I can get behind this one. It's decent, cool shit. Pretty
Violet
funky,
Pony is
too.
a pretty unique artist, but even with that in mind, this is probably the one song of hers I'd least expect. To put it shortly, it's Pony New Jack Swing. It's a pretty fun take on the genre, as it samples a variety of vocal clips from Friendship is Magic. On the face of it, it's pretty basic New Jack Swing in sound and texture, but it's still New Jack Swing, which automatically makes it better than most music. I have not a thread of connectivity to the My Little Pony world, so it isn't totally the song for me, but that's fine, I'm still bopping along. It's a really bright and fun little banger, although, yeah, there are much more compelling tracks off Carousel, if I'm being honest.
All
Down with capitalism?
right. Ooh, okay. Oh, Biggering by the 88. And I noticed this actually appeared on the RobGioReacts soundtrack, and yeah, and I have it on my number 28 spot over here. It's just really again the lyrics that really do it for me. You know, lyrics about like greed and capitalism and all that. How come I haven't heard this in the actual movie? Like, for real.
I needed all this stuff.
Speaking of pieces of animated media I have no connection to, yeah, I'm a bit too old to have any nostalgic fondness toward the RobGioReacts, unfortunately. Regardless, well, here it is. The song that was originally intended as a villain origin tune, which they went and replaced for something a bit more kid-friendly.
And I need a bigger office. I need a bigger chair.
And your ears do not deceive you. This is indeed a rockin' number with elements of prog, layers of instruments and backing vocals, and a crystal clear message about the dangers of greed's destructive swell. The Onceler decides that his humble place in life is not quite fulfilling enough, and the song brilliantly traces a transition from his churning dreams to selfish hedonism. Despite the RobGioReacts' warnings, he falls deeper and deeper into that black hole of self-indulgence, all the way to the point of blatant cruelty. And like, this is all too real, man. It's an outline of the expectations of capitalist America, a stark depiction of the inhumanity of our leaders. Who cares if the ecosystem's gone to shit and the world deteriorates to unsustainability? It's all about money, power. It's goddamn infuriating.
Yo, this part absolutely goes hard, dude. Jesus.
And in my opinion, it is so fitting for a children's film to portray this reality so colorfully. We're all spoon-fed the merits of abundant wealth and success from a very young age, and the fact that this is often at the expense of the environment and human life is just palpable enough for kids to understand. Honestly, the only thing keeping it this low for me is the fact that it does unmistakably sound like a song made for a children's film, with the voice actorish vocals and all. Therefore, I can't really say I ever go out of my way to listen to it, but damn do I very well respect it. Alright, let's lighten the mood back up a bit.
Yo, pump up the jam, bump it up by Techno Frickin' Tronic at number 59. Yeah, I have it at number 51 on my ranking here. Yeah, this song's a bop, for real. Just great tune, man. Absolute classic.
I have a lot of affection for turn of the 90s dance music. There were quite a lot of radical game-changing tunes during this time. And oh man, is this early 90s hip house in its plainest, most iconic, most awesome form imaginable. I swear, nothing gets me more hyped than the initial build-up in this song. Those deep, ominous synth tones with its heartbeat rhythm thumping behind it. All this followed closely by the thunderous synth riff and yet Kid K's absolutely legendary rap verse. It's the kind of song that does little more than shuffle its first minute again and again, but when that first minute is so goddamn epic, I'm not about to complain.
Oh, okay, wow. You're Best American Girl by Mitski at number 58. And I have it like literally in my top 10. Yeah, I have it in my top 10 at number 10. Just, wow, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful song right here. Also, I have yet to listen to that new Mitski album though, but yeah, beautiful song.
I am a fan
Excellent.
of Mitski's work, and this was one of the first songs that really had me understanding her appeal. The song speaks on the inherent lack of understanding between two people, particularly on the basis of cultural discrepancy. The speaker is attracted to this so-called all-American boy, whereas she was raised among completely different cultural values than him. And it's a very honest, personal song, as she speaks on her struggle in connecting with this person, sacrificing pieces of herself as she does so. Your Best American Girl, then, is the moment of her realizing that she does not have to play little spoon to this person, who inherently could never understand their differences like she does. Like a lot of Mitski's music, this is driven by some really raw emotion, both in her soft vocal performance and the ragged edges of that guitar swell. Its short length does make it feel like an incomplete picture of a very compelling narrative, but that's hardly a complaint. For what it is, it's really quite good.
Ooh! All I Want to Do by Sheryl Crow at number 57. I actually recently saw this song be mentioned in one David Bennett piano video, but yeah, back on topic. Let's see where I have it placed here. All I Want to Do, I have it at my number 55. So wow, almost the same placements here, almost the same take here. I think. Yeah, All I Want to Do, just another really groovy song. I don't know. I just love this song.
Fun fact, this was probably one of the very first songs I connected with, as I apparently sang along to this one a lot when I was a toddler. Anyway, man, there really is no other pop song quite like this one, is there? It's a really slick groove that skillfully combines some breezy country grooves with a funky edge and even some disco elements thrown in for good measure.
This ain't no disco.
Okay, fine, maybe not. What mostly appeals to me, though, is how much space Sheryl Crow takes up here. There's rarely a passing second that isn't taken up by her poetic stream of consciousness-like musings. It's actually very Bob Dylan in its attitude, which I've always appreciated. There's a lot going on here, but above all else, it's very casual and, again, unique. Maybe a bit too overplayed for its own good, but I dig it quite a bit anyway.
Alright, nice. Ooh, okay. Science/Visions by Churches at number 56. And I have it at I have it at number 29 on my ranking. Yeah, just the really it's nicely well produced, excellently, immaculately well produced song from Churches. Yeah, maybe I should go check out more of Churches stuff. I mean, I've never listened to much of Churches material outside of that one collaboration they did with Marshmello, because that was on the radio back in the day. But yeah, I should really go check out more Churches, because this song is just excellent, man.
Happy 10 years to the Bones of What You Believe. God, that first Churches album was just unreal. I'll even make the bold statement that it stands among the greatest debut albums of all time. With that said, Science Visions is one track that immediately sticks out, if by sound alone. Unlike their more pop-driven structures, this is defined by darker synths that cascade through the production, along with lyrics that lie on the more vague and minimal. Lauren Mayberry's leads trade off with those smoky backing vocals, and it all makes for a really interesting dynamic. It's a weird song, but such a cool, compelling atmosphere, no less. It pales a bit to some of the
that atmosphere is definitely compelling. I definitely agree with that.
Experiment the group wanted to try out. In any case, it's really damn good. I wanted a longer club mix of this one for a decade, and I still do. Another patron pick, and yeah, it wouldn't be a Liz sub-special without getting a little bit feelsy.
Oh, Squandered by Skunk Anansi. And yeah, I don't have this on my ranking because my ranking does not include the patron picks here. Yeah, my ranking does not include the patron picks. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this would go pretty high up on my list from the sound of it. Pretty promising shit.
This is my first interaction with Skunk Anansi, a name I've only heard in passing before, but y'all know I love my melodramatic rock music. And yeah, this absolutely follows the assignment.
Why take everything you see?
The song is, well, nice. I appreciate its melding of the mid-tempo power ballad energy with soft strings, and it's got some of the most clearly beautiful chord progressions across this entire list. Some comforting sounds energy with this one for sure. Another thing is, dear Lord, the singer's voice is absolutely gorgeous. Every member of the band plays their part very well, but it's so clear that she's working on a wholly different level. Lyrically, it seems to cover the internal struggle of a turbulent relationship. Whether it be romance or some other toxic relationship dynamic is left pretty vague, but this universality of its message makes it that much more effective. I do think that it's a song that's missing a little extra something to really drive it over the edge. It's clear that it's doing quite a bit more than your average post-grunge ballad, but it still mostly reads like an average post-grunge ballad, to my own ears at least. Nonetheless, the genuineness of its energy and ambition makes it stand out that much more, and I definitely appreciate my time spent with this one.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Oh, well, what do you know? Hello again, boys.
Ooh, Dieter Meyer's Inst by Kaiser's Orchestra. Alright, many of you might not agree with this one, but hold on, where did I put? Yeah, I have it at number 70. I don't think it's as good as Big Rob vs. Polka in my opinion, but yeah, it's a pretty good song. I can definitely see why it made it up this high on the list.
Kaiser's Orchestra strikes again, and yeah, this reads to me as the stronger of the two songs on this list. It starts off as a languid cabaret-type number with only spare strings and guitars illustrating the environment of this track. And it's really effective. Apparently this comes from a concept album of sorts, and here I'd like to give thanks to the translations and context added in the band's fan page, which really helped me make heads or tails of their music. This song concerns a man who is turning himself into the titular mental institution as he believes he has become psychologically unstable. He is morose, certainly melancholic over his having to leave the life he knows completely behind. But then we ramp up the energy, and with it, a change of perception. A more powerful attitude emerges. His repetition of "let me in" becomes less like one of desperation and one of force, acceptance, even anticipation of his new lease on life. And he's gonna confront it all, fists a swinging and everything. This all culminates to...
Leg my girl.
Yeah.
An
This part kind of
impromptu
bangs,
steel
not gonna lie.
barrel solo? Sure, why not? Honestly, it's just incredible. What a way to end a song. It's Fred again. Again.
Oh! Delilah pulled me out of this at number 53. Fred again and Delilah Montague. Yeah, I have it at number 15. Yeah, Fred again really just has that magic touch, man. He really does have that magic touch. And, you know, tracks like this are the reason why Actual Life 3 made my 2022 year-end list. So when I said that USB was easily my favorite project he's done, that was not meant to discredit Actual Life 3 or any of the other Actual Life projects at all, because yeah, Delilah, I mean, it's not my favorite Fred Again song anymore, but it's my second favorite Fred Again song now. Just an absolute banger from front to back, and yeah, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Alright, now this is what I'm talking about. It took me a few songs to get there, but I think I now finally get the appeal of this guy. First of all, this is a really good beat. Full electronic textures, subtle house pianos, and a really pretty lead melody driving everything along. The vocal samples are also really effective. Not sure if it was at all intended, but I'm getting a narrative of agoraphobia and social anxiety out of this track. This is certainly supported by repetitions of "pull me out of this" and "you know how to calm me down," which feel to me like a person in the midst of a panic attack, trying to find their stability in the disarray around them. Even then, it's a smooth and groovy track, good music to simply dance along to. And once that final drop
banger.
really lets loose, there's this new liberating quality to it all. What was once deeply uncertain is now euphoric and free, as if we've collectively rid ourselves from whatever inner hesitations weigh us down. And I don't know, that's just so beautiful. Such a jam.
Oh yeah, Walking on a Dream by Empire of the Sun at number 52. Yeah. This song actually brings back memories for me. Like back when my older sister used to pick me up from high school, this song would be one of the first songs she would play on the way back to my house. Yeah. Let's see where I put this here though. All right, I put it at number 49. So yeah, pretty great song if I do say so myself. And yeah, I know I have been repeating a lot of things. I know I've been sounding like a broken record on a lot of these so far, but yeah, I'm just I was just a little nervous going into this. So I mean, if I do like repeat anything, I do apologize. But yeah, just I like this one a lot.
Nostalgia. God,
Exactly.
It's so hard for me to view this song as anything but an inescapable soundtrack of my high school years. But let me try.
This part's catchy.
Like, wow, yeah, that's a pretty cool hook, ain't it? If Scandalous was the sound of the early aughts, this is the late aughts equivalent, fitting in line with all those electropop indie artists coming into prominence then. Being perfectly honest, this hook has always felt a tad limp to me, but there's no denying the warm, soaring quality of it all anyway.
We are always running for the thrill of it, thrill of it.
But, you know, I've always liked the pre-chorus the most. It's got this anthemic frenziness that absolutely epitomizes those good, youthful vibes at its core. Much like Somewhere Only We Know, it's a song about nostalgia that I've grown some nostalgia for. That's kind of rad.
Also pretty off topic here. This song's music video kind of reminds me of like the cover art for that one Spangle album, whatever it's called. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, it kind of gives me that vibe. I don't know.
Kaiju? Like Godzilla?
Oh, Kaiju no Hanauta by Bondi, and I have it at number 48. Yeah, man, I don't know about you, but Japan's got some good music here, and this ain't no exception to that. I really enjoyed this song a whole lot.
I haven't heard a whole lot from Bondi, but I more or less have a grasp on his talent for tight melodies and solid hooks, and that's certainly the case here. Kaiju no Hanata is an immediately bright and catchy number, intensified all the more by the synths, horns, and guitars working behind the performer. I'll admit that the mixing is a bit flat and compressed, which hurts a bit if you're paying too close attention. But this hardly matters because that chorus is a total monster, pun fully intended.
Hell yeah,
It's a
man.
great
Hell
mood of
yeah.
a song, so optimistic and life-affirming, with a rock and groove and an excellent drive forward. Man's firing on all cylinders here, and for the most part, it really works.
It's going down, fade to Blackstreet. The homies got that.
Yo, number 50, No Diggity by Blackstreet, featuring Dr. Dre and Queen Pen. I almost said Dr. Dre. What the hell? Anyways, No Diggity, I have it at number 53. Nothing really much to say about this one that many other people have already said about it. Just another classic. That's all I can really, truly say. A truly classic song.
Collab creations, bump like agony, no doubt.
90s party staples were a wholly different breed, man. Just the purest, most carefree energy from top to bottom. And this is no exception. First of all, this groove is awesome, with its bluesy backdrop taken from a classic Bill Withers track and the steam factor cranked all the way up.
Lovers it curves so free, what you heard.
That piano sample that pops in every few measures is an absolute stroke of genius. It's as if the song takes a moment for a breather before bouncing back into the party. It also helps that everyone here sounds like they're having such a great time. Smooth, sultry verses that drape over this instrumental like velvet sheets. It's all so good.
As for me, icy gleaming pinky diamond ring. We bees the baddest click up on this scene.
I gotta give special props to Queen Pen though. This song is, in fact, about the so-called playettes, and her verse absolutely ties the whole thing together. She's here to hang with the boys, but we gotta play by her rules while we're at it. To that I say, hell yeah, girl, get it. Sex.
See, I've been watching you for a while. Smiling still.
Yes, Say Yes by Floetry at number 49. And I have it at number 50. Wow. Yeah, this song's great. This song's great. Front to back. Full stop. Just R&B at its very finest for me. Love it. Really like it.
Damn, neo soul is a whole different beast of a genre. Along with this though, this is the kind of song that, let's just say I gotta listen to this one alone.
We could take that step to say.
I mean, there's nothing about it that's explicitly explicit, but the mood is completely there. I mean, this singer alone absolutely embodies the entire concept of bedroom talk. Her soft cooing supported by the very audible breaths she takes between each line.
You make me so.
It's like a nice little massage for my brain. The production's real smooth also, very open and minimal with light percussive elements and the occasional little synth embellishment. And it's always so nice to hear a song this smooth and seductive told by a woman who has full control over the dynamic. Like, Sis is being fully, unabashedly open with what she wants, and she is not holding back. She is absolutely down to clown, and all the guy needs to do is say he's down as well. All this is pretty damn hot.
I'm so glad.
Oh, wow. Wow. Back to December by Taylor Swift and number 48. Yeah, this, oh God, oh no, this is awkward. I have it at number 77. Again, discounting the Patron picks here because I didn't rank all the Patron picks here, but yeah, I think this is decent. I think this is a pretty decent song from Tay Tay. Not the best, like, well-written song I've heard or anything, but I think I can definitely get behind this one too.
How's life? Tell me
This has gone down as one of the most beloved of Taylor Swift's tracks, and it's not hard to see why. Not only does it sound lovely with the guitar twang and swelling strings emphasizing Swift's emotional potency, but the subject matter is also quite riveting.
You gave me roses, and I left them there to die.
Here, she reminisces on a past relationship and all its tender moments, small and trivial, but yet functioning as signifiers of the companionship she misses so dearly. More than anything, though, it's an apology to her ex-partner, her realizing that the coldness with which she approached the relationship was what would eventually drive them apart.
Then I think about summer, all the beautiful times I watched you laughing from the passengers.
And it's really damn effective because, well, it's so easy to paint the other party as a villain in situations like this. It's so much harder to be open and honest with yourself, to admit that, yeah, maybe you are the problem all along. There are quite a few Taylor Swift tracks I prefer over this one, but it's still got the perfect amount of wistful melodrama, and yeah, it's quite great.
Yeah, I think I can see the song growing on me a bit, but for now, it's, let's say it's in my little own decent tier. Not really the biggest fan of Taylor Swift's music in general, so that doesn't really help things, but yeah, I kind of like this. It's pretty decent. Cool stuff.
I'm so curious, but your boy wanna keep it cool.
Alright, we got some K-pop over here. We got The Feels by Twice at number 47. Now I have it at number 79. Oh god. Yeah. Cool track. K-pop isn't usually my cup of tea, but this is pretty decent. It's no BTS butter or anything, but I can also hang on to this.
Every time you move, got me.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. Twice are a pretty solid group, but I gotta be honest, nothing else I've heard from them even approaches the instant pop perfection that is The Feels. Big, bright melodies with candy-coated sweetness and good vibes that take over every bit of space in the production. It's all too good.
Yeah, you have stolen my heart. Oh yeah, never let it go. Oh, no, never let it go.
That chorus is especially huge, sung as if every positive emotion is bursting at the seams all at once. Some lines can be a bit clunky, but the simplicity and honesty of it all makes these feelings pop all the more. Love do be like that sometimes. It's a fantastic pop song. It deserved to be a monster hit for like 30 weeks over here, damn it.
Oh boy, great here. And my two other requests, Disenchanted and I Can't Give Everything Away, haven't been mentioned yet, so I'm assuming we'll be seeing them later on here. I guess you could say the redemption arc is pretty strong here, considering the fact that Admitted, Bleed, and Rope did not do too well. So yeah, let's see what's in the greats here. Damn it, my freaking computer froze. But first, a 2-minute intermission. We all need a break at some point. This video is already pretty long as it is, so yeah. I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. See ya. guys, the 2-minute intermission is over. We back, baby. Let's go check out the great tier. All right, great tier time. Here we go. And we're not even halfway done. Oh, God, wow. Woo! W. Silverman for requesting this song, In the Dark, by Purple Disco Machine and Sophie and the Giants. And W. Lyzette as well for ranking this pretty high here. In the Dark is a genuinely great disco-esque song here. I have it at number 34. So, yeah, pretty great track. Yeah, great song. I've been actually returning to this one a whole lot, so, yeah, great shit.
Pivoting from one incredible pop jam to another, and Jesus Christ, man, this was a hell of a grower. This style of flashy synth pop is absolute drugs to me. The synths painting this vivid portrait of a dark cityscape, lights from the streets and skyscrapers glittering amongst the nocturnal excitement of the people below. It's got this atmosphere down to an absolute T. I love it. Helping out, of course, are its fine series of pop melodies strung into each other so naturally. I'm a simple person. I love pretty sounds, good hooks, and big emotions. And
Yeah, this is
all
really
here.
pretty.
It's probably some pretty surface level stuff at the end of the day, but I don't care. This is just good music to me, y'all.
It's so charming, you'll find no replacements for me.
Congrats to Loeco for getting 2 of 2 Hemlock Spring submissions. Let's try for another one next time.
Woo! Sever the Blight by Hemlock Springs at number 45. And I have it at number 27 on my ranking over here. Yeah, up until this point, I have never listened to Hemlock Springs music before, but man, I really should go check their stuff out because, wow, Sever the Blight is chef's kiss worthy to me. Just, yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And I've been saying that for quite a few songs here, but yeah, this more than deserves the word beautiful.
I obsessed over Girlfriend for quite a bit last year and always knew that Hemlock Springs would make a truly great follow-up. And yeah, here it is. This is just too good. I feel like those who thought Girlfriend was too shrill and cutesy for their liking should try this out. This trades in those power pop vibes for a driving groove, lush orchestration, and soaring melodic structure. Not to mention that her vocals are just fuller and more interesting here. I don't think it's as immediately earwormy as Girlfriend, but it's got its own subtle charms for sure. The swell at the bridge is so cool. She's fully wearing her Kate Bush influences firmly on her sleeve, and more power to her for that. This song is hella cool, and even then, it's clear we haven't seen her working out her full potential. Only time will tell when her true masterpiece comes into fruition.
Ooh, okay. Ribs by Lord. I'm gonna stop saying ooh every time. Yeah, I'm sorry if I keep saying that, but yeah, ooh, yeah, Ribs by Lord. I have it at number 41. Yeah, really great song from Lord. I don't really listen to too much music from Lord. I'm not like an avid fan of her music or anything like that. I don't listen to her music on a regular basis or anything, but this really convinces me that Lord has more great stuff aside from Royals. Yeah, Ribs is just another like really pretty song. Really pretty.
Early Lord is a bit of a struggle for me, but when she's good, boy does she shine. And Ribs is very likely one of the greatest accomplishments of this part of her career.
The drink you spill all over me. Lovers spit left on repeat. Mom and dad let me stay home and try to crazy again.
It has that signature moody spiral that makes up so much of her music, and in ways feels like a blueprint for what she'd further achieve on melodrama. And she was only 17 years old here, making her anxieties about getting old seem interesting.
It feels so scary getting old.
Like, I can't remember if I ever had as strong apprehensions about aging when I was that young, but it's certainly something everyone thinks about at some point in our lives, even when we might be too young to fully comprehend the bleakness of adulthood. And for that, I really respect Ribs for encapsulating this very specific teenage anxiety about aging, where we're old enough to know what happens, but not quite experienced enough to understand what it really means. It's a unique premise for a pop song, and I think she pulls it off tremendously. Gay?
Oh. Enola Gay by orchestral maneuvers in the dark. Yeah, pretty funny there, since one of the songs previously was called In the Dark by Purple Disco Machine. But we're not talking about that song again. We're talking about this one, Enola Gay. And I have it at number 78. So yeah, this is awkward. Yeah, pretty decent song, pretty cool song. Just yeah, not one I'm willing to return on like a regular basis or anything. I wonder what Liz has to say about this one.
Close enough. First things first. God, this synth riff is just so magical. The early run of New Wave was a fascinating time for budding musicians to delve into a crash-land integration of pop music into more electronic production, and Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark has some of the best melodies around. Electricity is another one of my favorites. I'd love to talk about that one day. We can settle for the anti-war protest song for now, though. But I guess calling it a protest song sets it up for unmet expectations. It doesn't protest in the conventional sense, more that it's mainly a dancey heartbreak narrative wrapped in the metaphor of World War II combat, its name literally taken from the bomber that attacked Hiroshima at the war's closure. And considering that nuclear annihilation was at the forefront of people's minds in the 80s, yeah, you can see how this resonates. It doesn't have a whole lot of bite, but it's a jam either way, so who cares? And yeah, a retroactive LGBT dance club anthem, if only because of its title. So yes, yay! To be clear, I'm not reviewing two songs here.
Oh. L'Imaginaire and Do Not Let Your Spirit Wane. Oh my god, I said Wang, what? No! Do Not Let Your Spirit Wane, not Wang. I'm a fucking dumbass. Anyways, I actually have it all the way up at number 11. I don't know, it's like there are like some songs out there with lyrics that have this like high level of poignancy, and this right here is an example. Do Not Let Your Spirit Wane. Excellent track, excellent song.
Just trust me when I say that these two tracks are pretty much inseparable from each other. L'Imaginaire is the opening instrumental and is, simply put, just really darn beautiful. It magnificently sets the stage for the poignant storytelling to follow, for sure. I've already been enamored with Gang of Youths for a while now, but it's not too often I hear them sound this mellow and sumptuous, with sparkling synths and glorious keys forming this pillowy backdrop to the singer's musings at the forefront.
I have this dream, it comes like twice in a week. It's been so for years and years on repeat.
In a very soft, casual delivery, as if transcribed from actual conversation, the speaker recounts a recurring dream wherein they're living a peaceful, happy existence with a wife and child, only for these two to be torn from them in a violent collision. It's a strange and dark concept for a song, but it's clear that it's formed from a place of real anxiety, a fear that that which fulfills us, completes us, could, at any moment, come crashing down into sudden death.
Do not let this thing you got go to waste. Do not let your heart be
The chorus more or less spells it out. Nothing is ever guaranteed, not even existence itself, and it's ultimately a song about remaining appreciative of everything that sparks joy as they pass us by. A pretty basic philosophy, but not without its truths. It's a slow burn of a song, made even slower with that intro, but the build is just gorgeous and the honesty impeccable. Definitely worth the whole experience for sure.
Oh,
The most
Instant
voted for
crush.
song in this whole subscriber special. Makes sense.
It's the crush, baby! Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm standing up for this one. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love Instant Crush too. Yeah, I have it at number 12, but man, it is still one of my favorites from Random Access Memories. Fuck, man. Awesome song, dude.
Out of all the tracks on Random Access Memories, this one has become the one that folks have arguably grown the most fond of. And yeah, it's not hard to see why. This is a really cool sound for sure. This is Daft Punk we're talking about, so you know they're gonna hit you with those terrific synth melodies. And in Julian Casablancas of the Strokes, there's also that mid-tempo rock sound that adds even more edge and vibrancy to the mood. The verses have this nighttime driving energy, the chorus is a weirdly bouncy earworm, and it's all just so pretty.
Cause it doesn't matter every day. Yo.
I think what keeps me
This
from placing it
song
much
rules.
higher is a lack of specificity. You can hear all the 80s pop and synthwave influences strung together here, but at the end of the day, it sounds like little more than a collection of influences. Great influences to be fair, but yeah, compared to other Random Access Memory tracks like Touch and Giorgio by Moroder, not to mention the rest of their catalog, you know that they can nail unique personalities very well. Just not necessarily here.
Yep. Yep, it's the power of Daft Punk for you. Love this song.
Another note, God, this guitar solo is pathetic. It's honestly kind of funny. I like that it's pathetic though, so maybe therein lies the personality I'm looking for. Solid song anyway.
Alright.
I love my patrons. Y'all are so cool.
See what this is. Oh, Hailing Drums by Ray Tros. Sorry if I butchered that name here. Again, it's a patron pick, so I don't have it on my ranking. But yeah, I think this would go pretty high up on my rank if I heard it. So yeah, really great stuff out the gate.
This patron, for example, described this band as a group of musicians from mainland China who, and I quote, discovered Western music through an old Cure cassette. So for that alone, I am completely sold. Helps with this music is absolutely fire. How do I describe this? Well, this tune's got elements of prog rock, synth pop, post-punk, and even dance punk thrown in, but nothing about the sound fits very cleanly into any of these categories. Kind of funny that I place this right after Instant Crush, actually, because to me, this is how an artist can blend together their array of influences to create distinct, absolutely fascinating atmosphere. The vibrations of that main synth lead are so thick and computerized, and always with a march forward that anticipates something much richer just over the horizon. Lyrically, it's a lot of abstract poetry, but the song is more setting up a mood than a message anyway. The message does come out in the final third, though. The repetition of this line makes the socio-political motives all that more explicit. Long story short, it's time for a revolution, damn it. Another long story short, I love what I'm hearing and sure as hell I'm checking out the full album. Finally, someone gets it.
Ooh.
Greetings, girl, and welcome to my...
Alright, we got I Know by De La Soul featuring Otis Redding. I'm pretty sure I put this in the 40s on my ranking, right? Hold on. Yeah, I have it at number 46. Another really great song here. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this, but yeah, I love it.
Okay, let me back up. Personally, I've never really gotten into De La Soul in the past, but after this song, well, I'm definitely gonna change that. This is such a warm, instantly catchy little number, and its sampling is so fun and playful.
Don't worry about me squashing other deals, cause they've already been squished.
Most notable sample, of course, is that Otis Redding clip, which pushes the bouncy 90s summertime energy over the edge. I know this is from '89, I said what I said. But more importantly...
But because...
Oh yeah, you all know I love my Steely Dan, and Peg is just tops. Most importantly, however, man, this is how you make a hip-hop love song, y'all.
This time the magic number is 2, cause it takes 2, not 3 to seduce.
The sound is great, but so is the smooth charm and romantic sentiment throughout this one. I'm totally on board with these performers from the very first moment, and not because they take cheap jabs at the wrong kind of women or self-flagellate in some cheap performance of humility. They're just suave, friendly, and definitely seem worthy of the special lady's time and energy, should she decide to ride this wave. Overall though, it's such a nice, refreshing sound compared to a lot of other hip-hop of the time. I'm always up for a little sunny optimism every now and again, and this is the cookie. Another patron pick, and the first of some truly unhinged songs I've been obsessed with lately. And it's only gonna get weirder from here, folks.
Is that Violet Pony? Oh, it is. Yeah, I should have guessed right from the cover art here that this was Violet Pony. The Carry On Child at number 38. Again, it's a patron pick, don't have it on my ranking, but if I do listen to it, maybe it'll go high on my ranking or low on my ranking. I don't know.
Carousel is a hell of an album. You all should check it out. Anyway, as I said before, Friendship is Magic is so ridiculously out of my field of expertise. If there's any particular external context for the song, I could not find it myself. But I'm willing to hear out anyone who can enlighten me on whatever interpretation this calls for. Besides any of that, though, this simply goes hard as hell.
Wow. It definitely does go hard.
I've mostly been familiar with Violet's more pop-driven atmospheres, like in Can Opener's Notebook and some of Cutie Mark's. It's cool to hear her branch out into something harder and more gripping. Not only does this instrumental stray on the darker, rougher corners of the sound, but her voice has this abrasive quality that really accentuates the violence undercutting it all. She's just so good, man. The synthesizer line is a really great touch, and it works as a supporting performer to the rage-induced madness of everything that happens here. Tune obviously lies on the darker side of the track, and while I can't say there's anything here that would push it over the edge to being truly stupendous, I certainly am impressed.
You know what? Maybe I should go check out Carousel. Maybe I should go check out some Violet Pony, because with all that praise here, I am really intrigued. So, yeah, what do y'all think? Should I listen to some Violet Pony here? Should I listen to Carousel? Let me know in the comments or in the live chat if this is still premiering, which, yeah, of course this is. But, yeah, I'm really interested in her stuff now. Woo! This Generation by A Tribe Called Quest featuring Busta Rhymes at number 37, and I have it at number 44. Yeah, we got it from here. Thank you for your service. A phenomenal closing album to the discography of hip-hop legends. And This Generation is just one of the most hypnotic hip-hop songs I've heard in recent memory, dude. Yeah. Great track. Great track.
Status Chris Paul or John Paul in the league. Grab a mic.
We Got It From Here is an album that is not without its layers of sadness. Not only was this the final album for A Tribe Called Quest off the heels of Phife Dawg's tragic passing, but it was also one of a handful of albums that seemed to carry the entire weight of 2016 on its shoulders. 2016 goddamn sucked, and that fact makes this one a little harder to return to.
Just start the pack and dry it back up the wet. This man city's not a game, easy, quiet on set.
Nonetheless, well, the group sure were talented, and this song just rocks. It's a great instrumental backing, exploding outward in defiant power from the very first seconds. Busta Rhymes is here, and it's just about everything you could ever want from a Busta feature. And yes, there's the feels, but the bittersweetness that hangs off this track leans more toward optimism. The crew remain as braggadocious as ever, but also pay homage to the newer rappers of the day, like a symbolic passing of a torch to a new generation of artists to follow their legacy. It is, again, bittersweet, but with the power thrusting behind it all, it feels that much easier to swallow. Again, I'm not reviewing two songs.
Ooh, and All the Candy You Can Eat / All Manner of Pox for Canker by The Paper Chase. Oh yeah, I have it at my number 72 spot. So, yeah, I think the song is pretty good. Not the absolute best rock song I've heard or anything. It's far from perfect to me, but I think this is good. I think this is really good stuff.
The paper chase have remained incredibly fascinating to me ever since they slithered across my radar last year. Hell, I even talked about them in the Halloween video I made around that time, and if there was ever a band fitting for that honorific, it's this one. Slanted guitars and tremulous bass rhythms slip unsteadily across these ice-pick piano keys, all of which are tied together by John Congleton's deranged vocal delivery. It's dark, menacing, and scary as hell. Few things please me more than witnessing some of the most morbid fantasies of humankind acted out in art, especially when done so incredibly. And here these utterly sadistic professions are draped in metaphors of children's stories, which we all know are never as innocent as they seem. And as the band plays it out to the end, the scathing violence demonstrates a catchy quality that is impossible not to indulge in. And boy, is that an unsettling realization, but in the end, it's just the right kind of deranged indulgence I absolutely go for. I love horror. I love horror.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Happy song by Soul. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. This is gonna be by far the hottest take I'm ever gonna make in this reaction here, but I have it at number 90. The very bottom of the list. Oh boy, please don't kill me in the comments. Yeah, it's at the bottom really because it's not really for me personally. Like, I do have my fair share of dealing with, you know, this type of, like, you know, noise music and all that, and there are some genuinely, like, good, even great noise, like, you know, songs out there, but honestly, this is just way too much for me. I am so sorry.
Right off the bat, just know that I'm absolutely out of my element when it comes to the whole Vocaloid scene, but I'll take a good song when I see it. And yes, I am so serious. I'll admit, this one took a few listens to dig through the layers of sludgy industrial wash to appreciate and eventually relish in its stark emotional core. There's really nothing pleasant about its sound or content at all, and I can certainly imagine it being a turnoff for many. But I mean, it's not really supposed to be pleasant anyway. It's a hell of a cryptic song, and the fact that I can't really find a valid interpretation of its lyrics only enhances this. Though it's hard not to see its sonic messiness as a representation of something dark and unattractive, and it feels to me like an encapsulation of a manic episode taken to its most logical extreme. It's an absolute overstimulation to the senses, and listening to it feels maddening in and of itself. But most impressive of all is that there's an undeniably strong musicality beneath it. This bridge in particular is actually so beautiful, it's incredible. And like I said, it's something that can only be realized by pushing oneself to listen, and at least attempt to pull out the inner refinement that is undeniably present. Music this abrasive and challenging has been my absolute bread and butter lately, and we're gonna see more of this later, mark my words. I do love when y'all pay heed to my personal requests.
Woo! Alright! Still here with the ones I came with by Skrillex, Porter Robinson, and BB Borelli. And I have this one at number... I have it in the top 20, right? Yeah, I have it at number 18. I really just want to say right now, Quest for Fire is a fire album, man. I love Quest for Fire. It's not in, like, say, you know, my top 5, top 3 of the year anymore. But it's definitely in my top 20, you know, of 2023 as of writing this. And Still Here is a phenomenal closer. And, you know, like, it kind of reminds me of, like, Too Long from Daft Punk's Discovery, in the sense that it kind of, like, makes, this album go full circle. And what's really clever about this is that it has the melody from the opening track to Quest for Fire, Leave Me Like This, which is another excellent song. But yeah, Still Here, just, man, I love Still Here with the ones I came with. And man, that build up, that like second like build up with all those beautiful synths. Yeah, like first time hearing this, I was just like, yeah, you can hear the Porter Robinson contributions to this. And yeah, I fucking love this track. Damn.
This is the closing track from Skrillex's album at the start of the year, and yeah, it's the one that stood out to me the most. At the surface, it's like any other similar dance song you could imagine. A bouncy two-step backbeat laden with repetitive samples and a powerful, booming bass, all mixed to varying degrees and seen. But there's something kind of special with this one. That initial vocal sample feels desperate to me, and I can't help but interpret it as a longing for this current moment to last forever, to somehow slow or even stop the passage of time and take everything in for as long as possible. And yet this is contrasted with that strong vocal, which acknowledges and accepts the passing of time, the years long gone, and the markers of the people we've met that have helped us down this road. And both of these parts seem to almost butt heads with one another, until...
Is anybody here with a team more than like 20? Make some noise right now!
Yeah, this part with the fucking synths, I was literally talking about that earlier. Man. This part's so epic, bruh.
Pull back to reality in this poignant bridge, which, not gonna lie, really gets me right into the emotions each and every time. After which we're given the true freedom to take life by the reins and live free of such worry. I didn't quite expect a song like this to be as gripping and moving as it is, but damn it, it really is. We've covered a number of unusual, challenging songs up to this point, and that's not over yet. But let's just take a moment to admire a song that simply frickin' rocks.
Ooh, Mother by Tracy Bottom. Yeah, and I have it at number 13 on my ranking. Yeah, this song rocks, man. It just frickin' rocks. Definitely agree with what you say here. It rocks.
I've known of this song for a few years and was so very pleased to see it pushed here. It's a unique song that falls in that intersection of 90s out rock in the wake of grunge, along with the trend of female-fronted acts that were all the rage that decade. I absolutely love Bonham's delivery of these verses, her voice quivering with a sense that something not quite picture-perfect lies beneath. But like I said, this just rocks. It's simple and concrete in its message, professing the universal tension between generations as she matures beyond the expectations set by her mother. Perhaps not making all the quote-unquote correct decisions as she does so, but hey, that's life. All that said, these are the moments that tie it all together.
I'm hungry, I'm dirty, I'm losing my mind.
Oh my god, bro! I literally can't go past this point without mentioning the fucking charisma she has in this song, bro. The amount of passion, bro. That alone is what makes this be in my top 15 of this rank of my ranking here. Frick, man.
All the feminine Gen X angst comes bubbling at the surface, unable to be contained by anyone, least of all herself. I swear, it's one of the greatest moments in the entirety of 90s alternative rock, and only gets me to love this one that much more. What the fuck?
Yo, Fisheye by Shining at number 32. Like, yeah, I have it at a number, I have it at number 33, so one placement below that. But yo, this is one of the most fun metal songs I've heard in recent memory. Like 1375, 1349. Like, bruh, that hook is never gonna leave my head anytime soon. It's just so fun, man.
Yeah, that's right. It's that kind of subscriber special. Y'all pulled together the weirdest, most out of left field stuff you think I can manage and pushed it in my direction. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Anyway, here's Fisheye. Yeah, not to be the average YouTube comment section peruser, but Fisheye isn't a song, it's an experience. I can't view this as anything but a deliberate move to be as strange, intense, even frightening as humanly possible. There's absolutely nothing about this song that can be described as normal, and for that, it has my utmost respect.
Jesus!
But okay, although
Jesus Christ, this is great.
Like that, it's also a hell of a good piece of music. That guitar groove of its main section is catchy as sin, along with the heady drums and variety of synth patterns strewn throughout. There's also this. Oh yeah, this ain't...
Yeah. Whenever I hear this part, I can't help but just fucking like headbang like this, like bruh. Again, this is so fun, bruh.
Your grandma's alternative metal, that's for sure. This is like music sent from some alien planet, peeled away from any convention of harmony and good taste. Oh, and I bet you weren't expecting an impromptu saxophone solo either.
Yo, that solo's so great.
It's just that kind of song. A wild, feral trip, untethered by any preconceived rules. And don't ask about the numbers either. I choose to believe it's all nonsense, because that's what makes the most sense to me. Really happy to have the pleasure of passing this along to the rest of y'all. You are so very welcome. They don't call me King of Whiplash for nothing.
Ooh, I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie at number 31. And let's see, where did I put? Oh, okay, I put it at number 57. And yeah, this barely made my personal great tier here. And yeah, this song's great. And not only is it pretty like nice sounding, but also just, I mean, it's another one of those songs where the lyrics kind of do cut through. Like, it's really like well written.
Someday you will die.
The fact that I had to pull this in as a Liz pick absolutely astounds me. This feels like the kind of song that would get dozens of votes, with how wide a reach it has and how much it seems to resonate with listeners. It's certainly been the case for me.
If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied.
Immediately, you can sense that it's a simple song, but it's simple in multiple ways. Simple in format, with just a lone acoustic and Ben Gibbard's lilting vocals guiding us along. And simple in theme. One day you will die, and when you do, I will be there with you.
If there's no one beside you when you're so...
And indeed, the song is supported by this image of two lovers dying together, which is as time-worn of a mental picture as you can get. But it's less about the love story and more about these dying moments themselves. We build up our entire lives just for it to end, and death is, if we're lucky, quiet, soft, and gentle. It's as natural as a single breath outward, except this time, it's your last.
It's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon.
And with all the romanticism of the two dying lovers trope stripped away, we're left with the barest, most honest depiction of the cold fears that bloom during our final moments. It's sentimental, but a sincere sentimentality, never nihilistic, and perfectly mirrored by the sparseness of its recording. Overall, it's a delicate little song with a huge heart, and that just hits me in all the right ways.
Yeah. Hey, Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Yeah, great song, man. Great song. Number 30 on their list. And on my ranking, where did I put it? Yeah, I have it at number 32. Yeah, great song. It's another classic song. One of the most. It has one of the most memorable choruses here. And it's just one of those songs, you know, where, you know, like whenever I hear it, it just puts me in such a good mood. Yeah, another really great freaking song. Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's literally Edge of 17. This is just a cool song. You listen to it and can't help but think, wow, this is really cool.
Agreed. Hell yeah.
That guitar strut is just everything. It's the heartbeat of the track that gives it that vibrant, flurried feel running through its core. As the story goes, Stevie Nicks had lost her uncle in the same week of John Lennon's murder. Personal grief clashing with that shocking news heard round the world. Thus, she transcribed these feelings into music, and yeah, you can hear in real time the sound of these rough, complicated emotions turning into something lighter and more productive. The song is a blank canvas for her to haphazardly paint across, heard in these verse melodies that barely hang by threads. But then it all collects itself back to resilience during that spiritual experience of a chorus, and God, is it magnificent. As a song, it does peak kind of early, but man, is it an enjoyable ride, nevertheless. Oh, it's you again.
There were nights when the wind was so.
Oh yeah, Celine Dion, it's all coming back to me now. Number 29 for them, and for me, I put it at number 26. Yeah, wow. This is truly one of Celine Dion's best songs. I'd say like it's on par with All By Myself and My Heart Will Go On as like one of Celine Dion's best ever songs. Like, dude, like, and it goes on for 7 minutes, and it more than justifies it as well. Like, and that chorus, it never leaves my head as soon as I hear it. You touch me like this, and you touch me like that. Like, bro, sorry for like the awful singing right now, but just holy hell, bruh, this song's great. This song's excellent.
Well, okay, yeah, this is the second Celine Dion song in this video, true, but I'm talking more about the man behind the song. Seriously, I feel like y'all are on a quest to get me to review every prominent Jim Steinman staple out there. It's only a matter of time until Making Love Out of Nothing at All comes across my radar. Anyway, yup, this sure is a Jim Steinman power ballad, alright. It has that bombast similar to his work for Meatloaf, but at the same time, that chorus, replete with castanets, feel very Total Eclipse of the Heart.
There were those empty threats and hollow lies.
And surprising absolutely no one, this is dramatic as hell. From the orchestral build at the start, to the big sweeping melodies, to its 7-minute runtime cycling through a number of verses and segments.
But you were history with the slamming of the door.
And while this was apparently originally intended to be recorded by Meatloaf, Celine Dion honestly turned out to be a great choice for this song. She has the pipes and theatrical presence to really squeeze out as much emotion from this as humanly possible. It's pretty much everything I love from this type of super melodramatic power ballad, translated to that mid-90s production and tastes, and I will absolutely take it. All I gotta say about this next one is, thanks for this.
Woo! Hakushi Hasegawa! Yo, I'm loving what Hakushi Hasegawa has brought out so far. As Air Nini, I actually listened to Air Nini, thanks to Cacophony's latest album Impressions episode, and dude, that album is that album's crazy. And it really convinced me to go check out more of Hakushi Hasegawa here. And look at me, from the looks of it, I don't think it's from that album, but man, this is still just as crazy as everything on that album, and I absolutely love it for that. And I have it at number 16, as a matter of fact, so just, damn me, this is excellent.
This song is called Look At Me, and boy howdy do I love what I'm seeing. I am so incredibly grateful that the subspecial has introduced me to one Hakushi Hasegawa, who is certainly pushing the boundaries of pop and dance music across multiple dimensions and doing it so colorfully. Emphasis on the colors, because holy cow, is this some of the most vibrant, invigorating music I've heard lately. I am so astounded at how they can make music that sounds so weird and avant-garde, but never with a trace of cold abrasion.
Yo, this is intricate as hell,
To
man.
the untrained ear, this this sounds strange, perhaps even discomforting to listen to, but it's never without that strong rhythmic and melodic backbone swimming so effortlessly through the mix. It's similar to how Happy Song requires multiple listens to get, but with a lot more warmth and wholesomeness that, over time, becomes much more inviting. And it does so while, again, pushing the boundaries of its genre conventions as far as it can go. Like, there is some piano jazz here, but it's like piano jazz thrown in a dishwasher, and then covered with flowers and glitter. And then smashed to bits with a sledgehammer.
Jesus.
I needed to show this part to y'all especially. I mean,
Wow.
who thinks of this? The very first comparison I gave this to was Liturgy, and when your experimental jazz song is drawing comparisons to violent, glitchy black metal, you know you're doing something right. This was an extremely refreshing find, and you bet I'm checking out more from them in the future.
So am I, for real. Whoa! Yay! Finally, I have a suggestion of mine that did so well here. Yes! Yeah, considering the fact that the last suggestion of mine that was mentioned here was Bleeding and made it at number 81. And this at number 27, Disenchanted, I'll definitely take it. I'll definitely take it. And I have it at my number 4 spot here. Yeah, I have it at my number 4 spot here. I used to think this would be top 5 off of the Black Parade. Now it's top 3 for me personally. Like, honestly, I think this is just as good as say the Black Parade and Teenagers, dude. Like, dude, Disenchanted is just such an incredible song. Like, with like just a brilliant chorus. Like, it's just a sad song with nothing to say. Like, dude, this is fire.
Sold the cards for the queen, and when the lights all went out.
Another subspecial, another My Chemical Romance number. Okay,
Yeah.
let's be totally real here. This is My Chemical Romance's hair metal ballad, right?
It was the road, the crowd that gave me heart to sing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help
I mean,
myself.
it has all the signifiers. The emotional allure, the swagger, the big vocals, the build. I can even point to the exact 80s power ballad it most reminds me of. To be clear, I very much prefer this take on the sound. Admittedly, the Black Parade has never been my favorite record from the group, but I also can't deny that this is a fantastic penultimate track. Even
Hell
without the
yeah.
album context, it's clear we're grappling with the existential disillusionment of its speaker in their dying moments. The realization that while we're told our entire lives to make the most of every moment and live the best life we can, there comes a time when it's clear that none of it meant a goddamn thing. We all return to ashes in the end, and nothing will ever change that. And yet
Hell
the song
yeah.
approaches the thought not with fear or failure, but triumph, absolute abundance. Death is the last trial we will ever endure, so let's go out with a bang while we still can. It's just phenomenal through and through, and the most
Hell
perfect
yeah.
possible song to stretch into the swan song of Famous Last Words. God, it's all so good. You know, sometimes you gotta work with what little you have the very best way you can.
Ooh. The Wolves Act 1 and 2 by Bon Iver. Okay, so right from the get-go, we got some nice little vocals here. Yeah, sounds nice so far.
In retrospect, Bon Iver's debut album For Emma Forever Ago was a pretty important piece in me growing to appreciate and love folk music. Once I realized that music didn't need to have all the big hooks and instrumental layering to be emotionally effective, my horizons were instantly opened. Enter The Wolves, which is the album's centerpiece, at least in my eyes. Here, Justin Vernon lays aside the aesthetically pleasing strums and melodies of the album in favor of sparse, bleak sadness. It's a song where the speaker is haunted by the memories of a
Okay.
past love, this creeping melancholy epitomized by the titular wolves. The soundscape is so barren, with little more than simple guitar strums and Vernon's multi-track falsetto, bringing this tremendous despair to the forefront, almost too much to bear. And the build, dear lord is it effective. Things simply become louder in the mix at first, but then some unsettling noises invade the space, notably the cacophonous crash of cymbals and a voice manipulated by vocoder.
Wow, this sounds really alluring. I'm not even gonna lie.
Intense, ugly even, but man is it like the coolest, weirdest thing I've ever heard in folk music. And then we're right back to where we started, still tormented by these intrusive memories, but solaced by the fact that the violent darkness has passed, at least for now. It's so amazing how the 5.5-minute runtime is barely felt through any of this. In fact, it's any wonder why we need any more instruments at all. This is just sublime. Okay, fine, we can have more instruments.
Woo! Painkiller by Judas Priest. And I have it at my number 54 spot for now. But honestly, I may not even agree with that placement later because I've been coming back to Painkiller a lot lately. It just rules. Like it's one of the reasons why Judas Priest are one of the best metal bands out there, hands down.
It's about time that
Sorry.
y'all pushed this one for me. Jesus, that Grab Bag Reviews episode was so long ago. And you know, I will say I never was a genuine metalhead, but when I was discovering the genre in high school, Judas Priest was one of the acts that most stood out to me. What can I say? Dudes rock. And Painkiller is, of course, a classic. Everything fires off on all cylinders from the very start, and this energy doesn't cease for a single goddamn minute. I mean, we already know Ralph
This
Halford's
is
an absolute beast. Honestly, I'm mostly here for the
This is
guitars. Like, yeah, all this is big and loud and kind of dumb, and I don't have the capacity to give a crap about the lyrics. But there's just no denying how hard this all goes. Like, the solo alone is an absolute gem. I don't know, y'all, this is just too goddamn fun. And I like when metal is fun. I think when there's a big personality behind these Syrian guitars and junk, it all makes me feel so good. It's as simple as that.
Ooh, My Curse by Killswitch Engage. Hold on, let's see where I actually put this here. In my ranking, I have it at number... Let's see here. I have it at number 38. Yeah, another really great metal rock song thing. Nothing much to say here, but I love My Curse. So, yeah, it's great.
Anyone who really knows me knows that I'm not a big fan of metalcore. Clarification, metalcore from the 2000s is a big exception. Maybe it's just the nostalgia talking, but dear God, aughts era's metalcore just sounds better and feels better to listen to. And My Curse is a great example. This song is just hook after monstrous hook. I was already drawn in by those lovely melodic guitars that introduce it all, but once it slams into the heavier reconfiguration of the riff, and then again into the more aggressive hook, I love this stuff so much, man. I don't know much about anything, but Howard Jones might be one of my favorite voices in the entirety of the scene. With his powerful screams balanced out by some big, soulful, clean vocals, it's so good. And at the core of it all, it's basically just an amped up power ballad. Not that I care very much about the lyrics here, I'm just here for the sick guitars and terrific melodies. Big up to this bridge as well. It's just so goddamn beautiful. It often feels like so much of this scene is about being as loud and brash and tuneless as possible, which isn't really my thing. Big hooks and emotional vulnerability will always be that much more appealing to me, and it's all here for sure. Such a jam. Man, patrons are really blowing me away this time.
Alright. What's this? Okay, Spanish Sahara by Foals. Really loving what I'm hearing so far. Really delicate sounding. I'm at this point kind of a sucker for some delicate shit. Yeah.
This very opening of Spanish Sahara makes me uncomfortable. I don't know if I ever opened up about it here, but I've found that certain sounds and textures in music have the potential to make me feel a bit uneasy. It's hard to describe, and I don't know if it's actual misophonia, but the blank, quiet spaciousness of this opening actively gives me the chills for reasons I can never quite explain. It's an inexplicable, subconscious unease, bubbling to the forefront and solidifying as a chilly pit in my stomach. Thing is, they're probably going for some reaction along that line because at its core, this is kind of a spooky song. I mean, the repeated line, "It's future rust and it's future dust," dives to the crux of it all in a few simple yet powerful words. All things will one day decay, rust, and eventually disintegrate into particles to be blown away by the winds of time, never to be remembered ever again. And it feels to me that the rest of the song is a speaker coming to terms with this finality, this inevitable closure of all things. And it's a terrifying thought that no one wants to have. But to move past the horror of the situation, as if to bury it away in a desolate location, is to ultimately accept that this is just how things come to be. Future rust, future dust, for each one of us. But as the song progresses, the guitars free up and escalate, the percussion progresses from steady beats to powerful pounding rhythms, and the chilly synths feel lively, even comforting. Little by little, it all begins to feel okay. Maybe never truly, completely okay, but it's good enough for now. Gentles and ladymen, I have finally reached my Will Wood era.
Oh wow, Black Box Warrior Occultra by Will Wood, at number 22, and I have it at number 75. It's a pretty good song. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of, to me, it kind of has that like Weird Al kind of like tinge to it, which is kind of like what I really like about this song here. And yeah, I could see this one being another grower for me.
Will Wood's The Normal album made up a huge chunk of my listening activity at the turn of this year. It's not for everyone, and certainly isn't perfect, but I also haven't heard anything else quite like it. Not sure if Black Box Warrior is my favorite track, but it's one I've at least been quite fascinated with lately. Wood's manic piano playing is certainly a big draw, and I can't help but be reminded of the legendary comedy pianist Tom Lehrer when I listen to this one.
Neodymium and platinum, plutonium, palladium, promethium, potassium.
Oh yeah! Yeah, I didn't think of that when I was actually listening to that. Bro, I remember that Element song. I used to memorize that entire song when I was like really little. Like, yeah, bro, I didn't even think of that.
And it's also a comedic song, though it's more of an absurd comedy. The wall of language Wood employs is admittedly pretty tough to follow, though Wood himself has gone on the record that this was more of a creative exercise for him than anything, so alright, fair.
For what it's worth. If it was gonna kill you, boy, it would have by now.
But okay, although the song rejects a true linear analysis, it's also clear that it's trying to do something. Specifically, it feels like an abstract commentary on the medical industry, particularly how it ironically obfuscates its accessibility to patients and mentally ill folks who seek it most. I mean, the chorus just about says it all. Mental illness breeds paranoia, breeds a lingering anxiety that nothing can be done, and your degenerative demise lies just around the corner. But if it was gonna kill you, it would have by now. Or so they say. This phone call at the bridge more or less solidifies this reading, with Wood's spoken word monologue from the mouth of a medical professional depicted as unhinged and incomprehensible as the rest of the song. And that about sums it up, you know? The industry of mental health incessantly dehumanizes these folks, struggling with some of the most harrowing experiences of their life, and this song brings to the forefront the tomes of sterile vocabulary and gives it a pulse. in all its fever, twitchy energy. Despite how obscure this sounds, it's also true that Wood's compositions tend to sprout very much from personal experience. In this case, his struggle with BPD.
And if this is how he chooses to express that part of himself, well, more power to him. I sure as hell am along for the ride.
Oh, no, wow. Wow, this song didn't even need like a little like prelude, didn't even need like a little intro from Lyzette here. Yeah, number 21, Coming Alone by My Bloody Valentine. Yeah, wow. And I have it at number 43. Yeah, I can see why Loveless is an absolute like classic. Because Coming Alone is just another really great rock song, dude.
I had a lot to talk about with that last one, which is why I'm glad my reasons for loving this one are so much simpler.
It just sounds pretty, y'all.
My Bloody Valentine's Loveless is one of the cornerstone works of shoegaze, and even over 3 decades later, there's still nothing else that quite sounds like this one.
Coming Alone is such an underappreciated album cut, and I'm so glad it got pushed here.
Melodically, it's actually very similar to the album's opener, only shallow. But where that one possesses a unique aggressive sensuality that makes it so compelling, this one is a little more subtle in its sound. Its edges are softer, the atmosphere more melancholic. More than anything else though, it's a great encapsulation of the hazy, impenetrable sound that makes Loveless as a whole so compelling. Through its dense wall of sound and ghostly vocals peeking its head through every so often, it legitimately inhibits you from focusing on any singular part of its structure. But there is such an intoxicating emotional pull despite this. It simply envelops you in a huge pink fog and allows you to just exist for a while. All in all, it's a vibe. Gorgeous stuff.
All right, everyone, sing with me.
Woo! Make Damn Sure by Taking Back Sunday. And I have it at number 39. Yeah. Really great rock song here. Nothing much to say here. And yeah, sorry if this is the second song in a row where my reasoning seem a bit shallow here, but yeah, this is great.
And here we are with Taking Back Sunday, one of the biggest names of the whole emo scene. For the record, A Decade Under the Influence is our undeniable masterpiece. Someone please push that for me, thanks.
But this rules pretty hard as well.
I'm old enough to remember when this song was first released, and knowing even then that it was a distinct turning point from the group. A movement from their sloppier, homegrown sound into neater production with pop rock polish and fewer risks taken.
Thankfully, though, they absolutely did not sacrifice the power of their hooks.
I mean, there's just no denying that this is an absolute monster of a chorus. These guys have a number of iconic hooks under their belt, and this stands steadily among the rest.
Always so much love for the dual vocals, especially.
And it makes sense that this would become their biggest, most recognizable hit. It's the ideal representation of that 2000s rock bite presented for mainstream audiences. It's basically everything I love and appreciate about aughts-era emo in one neat package, delivered to us by one of the very best to ever do it. I mean, this goddamn rocks. What else do you even want me to say?
So, you ever come across a song that is quite unlike anything else you ever heard in your life? Well, feast your eyes, y'all.
Oh, Blueberry Boat by the Fiery Furnaces at number 19. Yeah, I've seen Lyzette actually mention this track quite a bit on their Twitter page. Blueberry Boat by the Fiery Furnaces. I have it at number 64. This is pretty good stuff. I don't think it's like a perfect track by any means, but Yeah, I love this track. Well, I mean, I like this track. I like this track.
To start, Jesus Christ, I am absolutely obsessed with this banger of a riff. It kicks so much ass and is probably my favorite riff of this entire list. You know you're doing something right when you remind me of The Residents.
But anyway, there's a whole other 9 minutes here, and yeah, it's pretty bonkers.
I once heard this song described as the fiery furnaces trying to replicate a song from memory in real time, changing their mind every few measures or so, and yeah, that sounds about right.
Much like Fisheye, nothing about this song can be honestly described as normal, but somehow even more so.
I legitimately can't fathom what goes through someone's mind to make their song sound like this. It's incredibly fascinating. There's never any melodic chain or cohesion that goes on for more than a verse or so, and deliberately so. And yet, it's also never random for the sake of empty quirkiness.
In actuality, it's all so meticulously designed. It's impressive.
It's a story of this captain and their titular blueberry boat on its maiden voyage. When everything goes as planned, the music is light, pleasant, and bouncy, whereas it then takes a more ominous turn when danger lurks around the corner.
Curse and cry a while, we'll never go home. We'll never go home.
There's just so much color and character in everything here, from the erratic instrumental to the spirited vocals of Eleanor Friedberger to the whimsical, non-linear prose of its narrative. It's just so bold and exciting, and a big breath of fresh air in a world of indie rock gone stale.
You could cut my throat, but you ain't never getting the cargo of my blueberry boat.
And also like Fisheye, well, this song is an experience.
It rejects any notions of accessibility and ease, but it's never cynical or pretentious. Rather, it's super playful, just having a little bit of a laugh with listeners' expectations, and you don't get songs like that every day. Pretty damn close to calling this a masterpiece. I just need a few more listens.
Last subscriber special, I said that this song was better than Can't Get You Out of My Head. I absolutely meant it.
Wow. Number 18. Love at First Sight by Kylie Minogue. And yeah, on my ranking, I actually have it one spot above In Your Eyes. I have it at number 60 on my ranking. Yeah, I think this is a bit better than In Your Eyes. Like, it's not the best dance pop song I've heard or anything, but damn, this is really, really solid.
This is now the third song from this one Kylie Minogue album I reviewed. Would be nice to move on to other albums now, just saying. Anyway, besides that,
well, this is plainly one of the very best songs that Kylie's ever put out.
First of all, this production is such a delectable blending of so many electronic influences. Like, it's electro disco, there's no denying that. But it's also hard not to hear the French house influence of those muted, watery guitars in the back, along with a thick bass groove that adds some of that old-fashioned funk into the mix.
It's just a cool sound, absolute candy for my ears. And Kylie herself, as we established, was already staking her claim at the Y2K sound, and this is the absolute peak of all that. This song feels like the absolute epitome of what a song called Love at First Sight should sound like. Fresh, breezy, absolutely lovelorn, perhaps a little bit reckless, but that's what makes it all so fun, you know? It's one of the very best hits of its year, and honestly, it deserved to be much bigger than it was, damn it.
Y'all cannot underestimate how much I absolutely love music from the 2000s.
Hey, The Reeling by Passion Pit, yay! And it's at number 17. And yeah, I'm very inclined to agree with this placement here, except I have it at number 14. Man, like remember in that ranking video I did of that Flight Facilities Down to Earth album, and I said that Sunshine is like a nominee for the happiest song I've ever heard in my life. Well, this song, I think this song is also in contention of that. Just, yeah, I've also been returning to this one a hell of a lot. Like after the first listen, like the whole way through, I was just like, man, I love this, 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 man. Excellent stuff.
I I do understand that Passion Pit ain't for everyone. They broke out during that little pocket of the late 2000s when boisterous electronic production and loud androgynous vocals were all the rage. And even then, Passion Pit were just a bit more loud and boisterous than their contemporaries. Above all this, the reeling tells you everything you absolutely need to know about them. It's got the big wall of synth slammed up against a danceable percussive rhythm, with falsetto aplenty from vocalist Michael Angelikos. There's a whole lot going on there alone, but it's only when you dig deeper do its strengths really make themselves known.
Oh my god, this hook! This fucking hook, man! Oh my Lord Jesus Almighty Pancake Christ. Bruh, this hook, it never gets old.
The reeling is a lot, but it's also incredibly honest, detailing the uncomfortable realities of the speaker's ongoing struggles with depression. It doesn't cut corners, and yet still makes a cool, danceable song out of it. Honestly, the big flashy production makes it all even more effective. It's a bleak desperation of one's mind, contrasted by the drive to keep moving, keep dancing. If Happy Song was a potent representation of a mental breakdown taking place in real time, this song is the same mental breakdown creeping in, all while still having to maintain one's daily life as if everything is just fine. And may I say, I'm no fan of children's choirs, but this is likely one of the best employments of them I've heard in any music whatsoever. And above it all, it just soars. Big hooks, big emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything I love in music of this style. Music in general, really. It's about time y'all pushed this for me. Jesus, that Grab Bag Reviews episode was so long ago.
Oh, Innuendo by Queen. Wow. It's actually pretty funny because for those of you who are actually new to my channel, I actually do a series called Monthly Submission Rankings, where I rank tracks that my subscribers submit to me every month. And this track right here, Innuendo, was actually submitted to me for episode 21 of the series. And yeah, so because of that, I really want to save my thoughts for that video when I actually do talk about this track in my own little like segment / review of it. But I'm gonna say this right now, and I really do mean it with full sincerity. This is the best track from Queen, in my opinion. Even better than Bohemian Rhapsody. Even better than another one by Dust. Even better than We Will Rock You. It is truly like their magnum opus, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
Queen, as we all know, are one of the most legendary rock acts of all time. 1981's Innuendo would prove to be their final album, with the passing of Freddie Mercury occurring soon thereafter. It's also probably my single favorite record from the band, and has been for many years. Over the years, I found that The Show Must Go On is actually much more effective to me on an emotional level, but I just can't deny the absolute radness of the title track either. It reads to me like a culmination of their sound throughout history, a newer, slicker pop production transcribing naturally back into that more progressive symphony sound of their 70s material. And it benefits a whole lot from the smoother mixing because boy does this sound great. The first part of the song is probably the most iconic, with its marching rhythms, big guitars, and menacing...
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I have it at my number 6 spot on my ranking. Whoops, sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Strings providing perfect backup for Mercury. There's also the shifting movements of this one, a fitting mirror to the similar structure of Bohemian Rhapsody. All this is punctuated by 2 separate guitar breaks, both majestic in their own ways. First, a feverish flamenco solo from Yes guitarist Steve Howe, and then the pumped-up reworking from Brian May. It's all just a league of great performers at the peak of their talents, all coming together to craft something so fantastic and grand, and I can always appreciate that. Holy cow.
Alright, Patron pick again. Okay, Noah / Cathedrals by Birds in a Row. Funny how this was requested by Crow, aka Cacophony, but Yeah. Really promising stuff for sure. Again, I didn't rank this one because it's a patron pick. I did not know what the patron picks were up until this point, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it would rank somewhere high on the ranking, I guess, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yet another post-hardcore act that's left me completely blindsided. Jesus Christ, how does this keep happening? I mean, first of all, this guitar line is incredibly groovy, pretty much danceable. It's simple and stable, providing the blank canvas for the rest of the song to eventually come into fruition. Noah comes from an album that, like many others, was largely carved out over the COVID-19 induced lockdown in 2020. And to say that this reflects the sign of the times is a goddamn understatement. That crushing sense of desperation filtered through uncertainty is extremely apparent here, even more so once it all breaches into caustic anger. And this anger is so incredibly potent, it almost hurts. It's an aggressive, fiercely defiant tune with an upward slope of mobility that is just so exhilarating and infuriating. And that heady guitar groove continues to work as a backbone, assigned the task of keeping all these searing emotions contained.
Dude. Yo, this is potent right here. Wow.
How do we keep our own emotions contained in the oppressive environment which surrounds us? How do we keep a smile on our faces knowing that the government to whom we offer our loyalty and labor is knowingly killing off our fellow citizens through their brash, careless incompetence? Well, we don't. With Cathedral, the ropes that kept the previous performance tethered to the earth are cut free. The energy here is notably much looser, certainly more raw, with tribal rhythms and machine gun guitar patterns. Truth be told, it's almost scary to listen to. But where Noah left its own strings hanging, Cathedral is much more proactive. It's a natural conclusion to the continual oppression and injustice enacted by governments. And the conclusion that bubbles forth is rage, uproar, an utter refusal to be tied down by the soulless powers that be. It demands a full destruction and rebuilding of the broken systems that govern our world, and it sure as hell ain't taking no for an answer. Honestly, fuck yeah.
Oh god. We've made it to the We've made it to the cream of the crop, boys. Excellent tier. And I can't give everything away, hasn't been mentioned yet. Personally, I think it's going to be in like the personal all-timers tier, but we'll see. I have my hopes up for that. Ooh. Yo, Teardrop by Massive Attack at number 14, guys. Yeah, and I have it at number 21. I have it at number 21 on my list, which means it is an excellent, excellent track. I mean, like this is the track that many people think of whenever the name Massive Attack enters their minds. Just Teardrop is a legendary track, man.
Let it be known that I'm generally not the biggest fan of trip hop. That super languid, chill sound that generally makes up the genre rarely does a whole lot for me. Regardless, Teardrop has me absolutely sold from the very first seconds. It's all about the darker textures and luscious, moody production here, even more impressive considering how minimal and open the sound palette is. Not a whole lot more than a heartbeat drum rhythm, the smoothie harpsichord patterns, and the occasional piano chord. It's simple, but so hypnotizing.
Yep. Simple but effective. You know, the phrase exists, but yeah, this is an example of that. Simple but effective.
Towering above it all are these eerie vocals, presented by Elizabeth Fraser of Cocteau Twins. And while her indecipherable alien vocals are often a centerpiece of Twins compositions, you can hear her so crystal clear here. Her singing is ice cold and impenetrable, slipping and sliding along this melody with an anxious instability. It's less extraterrestrial and more robotic.
And with its vague lyricism concerning a major loss and the intense grief and remorse that follows, God, this is so incredibly compelling, so vivid despite the darkness. It's easily been one of the most intriguing trip-hop staples I've ever come across in my life. The hype is so real with this one. I was following the...
Woo! Fleet Foxes with Why Winter Hymnal at number 13. I have it at number 37. And yeah, and believe it or not, this was actually my first time hearing anything from Fleet Foxes. The first time I've heard the name Fleet Foxes was when the Needle Drop included Helplessness Blues in his Best of the Decade list, and he placed it all the way up in the top 10. And even then, I wasn't interested in checking them out. But man, White Winter Hymnal is it's really beautiful. It's really cozy, and it makes me feel like I'm at home celebrating Christmas, even though it isn't Christmas yet.
So, remember when I mentioned how Bon Iver's album was one of the major stepping stones in helping me to appreciate folk music? Well, I gotta admit, Fleet Foxes' music might have been more important in that regard. I mean, with the lush, layered indie folk instrumentation here, how could I not be compelled? But for as high as I've placed this, it's actually one of the simpler songs in this whole video. Sure, these harmonies are dense and oh so lovely, but it's also composed of just a single thrice repeated verse. But again, it cannot be understated how gorgeous it all sounds. Big booming drums, sumptuous guitars, that overwhelming autumn to winter feel of it all. It's also impressive when structurally this is all the energy of a brief interlude before a much grander album track. And yet, what stands out to me the most is how timeless this track feels. It's unbelievable to me that this melody didn't exist, or at least wasn't seared into public consciousness prior to 2008. This simply feels like an Americana standard that has existed for 200 years, certainly emphasized by the vividly pastoral lyricism tinged with violence, a turn that never feels too unnaturally morbid. And hell, the fact that I'm able to squeeze out so many words out of such an uncomplicated song spanning 2.5 minutes, well, that's certainly a testament to exquisite art if I've ever heard it. Chick, chick, chick is how it's pronounced, apparently.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Me and Giuliani down by the schoolyard, a true story by Chick, Chick, Chick. And I have it at number 84. It's not really like, you know, a bad song per se, but honestly, I think this is a really meh song. Like, first time hearing this, I didn't, you know, get that much like enjoyment out of this song. But that's really just me. And and you know, even as someone who didn't even like Chick, Chick, Chick's latest album, I am still willing to give them more of a shot, because they seem like the type of band that, you know, I would get, you know, into more, you know, as I sit, you know, with like, you know, their material more and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta say, it's been awfully convenient for recent news stories to break out as I write this review. If you know, you know. Besides any of that, though, yeah, this is one of the all-time great indie dance anthems, and I will be hearing no argument to the contrary. It's got it all. Shimmering dance punk beats, skeletal bass lines, disco percussion, hand claps, the occasional guitar and trumpet interlude, and a vocalist who doesn't sing as much as he struts around this rhythm, as if he's the hottest catch of the whole damn club. All across 9 minutes of liberating party time glory. And despite this length, it's never boring, navigating through a number of hooks and dropping quite a few quotables as it does so. Ain't no way I'm not dancing along with every listen. The very thought is unheard of.
You know what?
And
You know what? Maybe this song might grow on me, but yeah, still.
well, we probably got to explain the title, don't we? As preposterous as the song may feel, there's actually a political message backing up these fresh and bouncy beats, as this vocally rallies against then New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani for his strict enforcement of prohibitive laws that affected the nightclub scene in the city, to the particular detriment of queer communities and communities of color. And this song says, screw those guys, let's just do whatever the hell we want. It's all in good, harmless fun, and if it pisses them off, all the better.
Everybody cut, everybody cut, everybody cut loose.
But like, I had already loved the song for years without even recognizing the messaging behind it all. At the core of it, it's still a hella fun homage to the liberating qualities of dance music, and we can all see eye to eye with that, at least. Yeah, a full-fledged dance punk revival can come any day now.
Okay.
Down with capitalism.
Ooh. The Law of Asbestos by Ashenspire. And hold on, I have it at number 45. And yeah, that means the song is great. I can definitely see why you gave it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, love this one. I like this one a lot.
I do not believe in being apolitical. In this day and age, it simply isn't an option. And I also believe in the importance of art and music to also stay political. Music can be a good escapism from real life, but it is also one of the most immediate forms of art we have out there. And it will always be necessary for artists to peel back the layers of absurdity that define our daily lives and expose the sick darkness of reality for what it really is. I am, of course, talking about society under late capitalism, and man, Ashenspire really hit the nail on the head with this one. This is a violently poetic demonstration of how the housing and architecture industries, in all their ugliness, have turned the tranquility of existence into a nightmare of dehumanization. Utter discordant chaos invades a serene atmosphere at a moment's notice, and we are given a disturbing array of quarreling noise, led by a vocalist who sings every last line like a deranged evangelist from hell. Or perhaps somewhere more frightening than hell, with this visceral distress almost too much to bear at points. And the message is loud and clear. In fact, it's in your face and just about as pissed off as it can get. Each new section seems to signal an all-new apocalypse in their own ways. An apocalypse triggered by cold, money-grubbing monsters, continuously exploiting the poorer classes they deem more worthy to do their bidding than breathe the same clean air as they do. A god-forsaken town, indeed.
Yeah, I definitely feel the passion there. I definitely feel it.
Okay. Stay with me, please.
And I need a bigger office. I need a bigger chair.
When I mentioned that biggering was a rationally child-friendly representation of the horrors of capitalism, I had a point with that. It is to highlight the inherently all-encompassing, all-consuming nature of capitalism. Children are affected by capitalism, as the merits of individual prosperity are drilled into our heads from a very young age. It drives pretty much every aspect of living in America, and is why so much about living is so unsustainable. And thus, it's so easy to forget that the way it is doesn't have to be that way. After all, so much of what we've learned and what we've been told to value is to the benefit of a relative few who don't actually give a shit about any of us. And it's all done with full intent. Circling back to my initial point about why political messaging in art is so important. Particularly when these wider powers benefit from our apathy, from our total ignorance of all that is happening around us. We simply cannot afford to be apathetic. Our literal world depends on us taking action for the good of our fellow living beings.
Always 3 months to the gutter.
Likewise, in the final stretch of the Law of Asbestos, the song itself all comes back to the center. The vile tactics of property owners and housing corporations could only be possible by way of the seeds of capitalism nurturing them to prosperity. And this cannot happen. We must be angry. We must take action. It's the only home we have, goddammit. You know what? Screw it. Let's just get back on track.
Ooh, wow.
A heart
Bedroom Community by Glass Beach. I have it at number 35. And yeah, this is another great track here.
Really glad I get to review something from the first Glass Beach album again. Reviewing and re-reviewing the title track simply wouldn't suffice. And luckily for me, I get one of the very best. Glass Beach have a very specific aesthetic that I hadn't really ever seen done before. A diverse palette of sounds that range from emo to power pop to jazz to hell, I don't even know what else, but it all sounds so good. Above all this though, this album is highly involved with melding the seemingly disparate traits of playful eccentricity with absolutely soul-crushing emotional gravitas, and they absolutely nail it. I'm tempted to call Bedroom Community.
Yo, wow, these chords are sick.
I fear that this might diminish just how understated it is. It speaks of the isolation and hopelessness felt by many a young trans person. This certainly fortified by the world outside their bedroom, which grows ever hostile over their mere existence. But Glass Beach has much humbler concerns than preaching to the masses. Instead, they reach into the hearts of these young people themselves and find, amidst the whirlwind and chaos, solidarity and love. Not gonna lie, Bedroom Community absolutely made me cry the first time I heard it. Music that is this open-hearted, earnest, empathetic, you just don't hear it every day. And when it's there, it's almost overwhelming, and certainly more emotionally resonant than most. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Oh, hello again, Liz.
Ooh, wow, Heaven or Las Vegas by Cocteau Twins. And yeah, wow, I have this one at number 71 on my ranking, and you know, just because I put it at number 71 doesn't mean I think it's a bad track, like, because it isn't. It really isn't a bad track. It's just a really solid yet pretty song.
One thing you should know about Cocteau Twins is that their lyrics are absolute nonsense. Often an assortment of random words that have no purpose except for artistic appeal, and that's also the case here. And honestly, that might actually make my job here a bit harder. I can now only rely on the sound and feel of the song as it stands before me, and, well, it's obviously gorgeous. That full wall of sound defined by those shimmering guitars, that blanket of a bass line, and stiff drum patterns to keep everything firm and stable. All this combined
very
with
pretty.
Elizabeth Fraser's vocals,
Like I said
which
before.
work as an additional instrument along the rest, gliding along each measure with such efficiency. It just glows. The band tends to ride primarily off the emotional core they pull out of these sounds, and you know what? They're pretty damn good at that. But also, is it fair to say that these lyrics are complete nonsense? I don't know about the rest of y'all, but a line like, "Am I just in heaven or Las Vegas?" feels like a mood bigger than even life itself. It's kind of incredible, actually. And this whole song is incredible, an absolute triumph. I've definitely written far too many words than I think it's ever invited. Basically, you just gotta dive into it and feel it, man. Do it.
Oh, hi, channel. Hello, trailer music.
This sure sounds like it'd be pretty good music for a trailer.
Exactly what I said. I was like, hi, trailer music. Yep. Marquee Moon by Television. And I have this one at number 40. Wait, hold on. No, not in the 40s. I have it at number 52 on my ranking here. Which means it is a great track in my opinion. I don't know what to say about it. I love it. I really like it a lot. Sorry if I'm being repetitive here, but yeah.
This is like the greatest punk song of all time, right? I mean, it has to come pretty darn close. The entirety of Marquee Moon, the album, is an impressive presentation of Television's unique sound, highlighted by their dual guitars weaving their riffs and melodies into one another as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Pretty impressive
impressive too, considering this sprouted from punk's infancy, wherein the genre was still trying to figure out how to push the boundaries of its aggressively political sound. On the contrary, television sound was more delicate and honestly quite beautiful. And it all culminates with the album's title track, which turns our melodic structures to an absolute high art. Every piece here absolutely works. But okay, let's be real. We're all here for the solo. It's one of the basic rules in all of Western music. Start from zero, escalate smoothly upward, and the effect will be grandiose and wonderful. And the solo builds up this momentum so naturally, it's hard to notice unless you're really paying attention. Tom Verlaine's jazz-like guitar syllables dance along that basic rhythm with ever-increasing intensity. It's goddamn mesmerizing. Honestly, the best thing you could do for this song is just sit and really listen, diverting your attention from anything else for 5 solid minutes, taking in the absolutely palpable ascension, and simply getting lost in the swell of it all.
Yeah, it does kind of get me lost into it. I'm not gonna lie.
And then it all
That's what makes it great.
breaking point, wherein the entire band diverts from their individual parts to mesh in firm rhythmic unity. And God, it is just so clean and simple, but incredibly cathartic. It absolutely rules. It's a song about enhancing one's resilience in the face of life's adversities, and this song is that transformation, a buildup of inner strength needed to, well, survive. And it's honestly just so beautiful, I can barely even stand it. It's about as good as a song can get for me without quite reaching all-timers territory. Which, speaking of...
Oh! Yo, I was right! I was so right. I can't give everything away in the personal all-timers tier. Yay! Let's see how high this song is gonna be on the list here. Boy, we are so close to the end, people. I can taste it. Oh my God.
This commenter says that this song is more empowering than Float On. I'm inclined to agree.
Well, it would have been, could have been worse than you would ever know.
Oh no. Oh man, wow. Number 7 is Dashboard by Modest Mouse. And I have it at number 86. What is going on? Bro, what is going on here? I don't know. I can actually see the song, you know, kind of growing on me a bit, but I don't know. Maybe I just need to, like, sit down with this more.
I know what some of y'all are thinking, and yes, this is a later period Modest Mouse single with their signature dissonant weirdness traded in for poppier chords and glossier, edgeless production. I don't care, this sounds good as hell, and that's all that matters to me.
Well, you told me about nowhere, well, it sounds like some place I'd like to go.
I get the need to hold us a comparison to Float On, this one also being the lead single to their new album, with similar themes of embracing positivity in a world where this is not exactly invited. Dashboard is more up to my personal standards though. I'm an absolute sucker for Johnny Marr's jumpy guitars across a much more upbeat tempo. It's almost danceable. The horn and string embellishments add so much flavor, and Isaac Brock's energy is as impassioned as the restraint of the production could allow. He even throws in a few manic outbursts for good measure. Really, the most incredible thing about the song is knowing that these feverish lyrics were all completely improvised by Marr during a single jam session. Considering the gravitas of some of these lines, that's super cool. I mean, the dashboard melted, but we still have the radio. That line alone is as potent a sentiment as any other band could ever wish for. All in all, this continues to demonstrate that the music I loved in high school is better than anything else to ever exist. And that is the truth.
Alright. Oh boy. Wow.
It's about
Rock
time
Lobster.
that y'all push this one for me. Jesus, that Grab Bags Reviews episode was so...
Yeah, Rock Lobster by the B-52s. I think I do have it in the 50s, though. Do I? Hold on. Oh, I have it at number 66. Yeah. This is pretty good. This is actually a pretty, solid little, 60s song. I actually quite like this.
The B-52
Blink-182's self-titled debut is an absolute trip, any which way you slice it. New wave and punk styling sprinkled generously with whiffs of 60s surf rock, sporadic synths, and a collection of vocalists that would have gotten kicked out of any other punk band for being too square. And yet it all fits like a glove here. Rock Lobster is, without a doubt, the band's clearest shining moment. In an album full of instant party bangers, it immediately towers above the rest with its ominous guitar groove, sci-fi synth patterns, peculiar backing vocals, and Fred Schneider's matter-of-fact telling of how we were at a beach, everyone had matching towels, somebody went under the dock, and there they saw a rock. But it wasn't a rock. This is music made by
kind of goes crazy.
I cannot accept any other explanation. It's so intensely quirky and weird, even childish. And there's not a single moment in the song that could have possibly been written by someone whose brain was even a little conditioned by American normalcy. It's about as obscure and strange as pop music can get while still being pop music. But I mean, God, does it kick so much ass. And just when you think it's gotten as wild as it could possibly get, it hits you with another vibrant display of its unabashed otherworldliness, an open display of some wacky marine life aficionados' intrusive thoughts. And through it all, it absolutely rocks.
Pun intended. or no pun intended, I don't know.
I don't know if I exactly want more music that sounds like Rock Lobster, but man, would music be that much more interesting if there were more artists willing to dive into that unbridled, feral part of their brains and dispel its contents for all the world to see. Along with some ripping chords, of course. I can honestly say I haven't heard anything quite like it, and I think that's very, very cool.
Oh boy. Oh my god, that means I Can't Give Everything Away is also in the top 5. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so just like oh god, I'm so nervous. Oh my god. Number 5, Phantom Limb by The Shins. Oh yeah, I put The Shins Phantom Limb at number 69. Nice. Sorry about that, but yeah, this is another really solid rock song here. W Luke's 99.
As you all know, I love the music of the 2000s. If Scandalous was the sound of the early aughts and Walking on a Dream symbolized the late part of the decade, there is no song that more perfectly encapsulates the indie sound of the mid-2000s than Phantom Limb by The Shins.
Nice mid-2000s rock, eh?
Now, The Shins were already one of the forefront acts that led to the proliferation of indie rock into the mainstream. Songs like New Slang and Caring is Creepy, with their creative songwriting and pastoral moods, were already bona fide folk rock staples in the scene, well before their album Wincing the Night Away had the group experimenting with more diverse influences and cleaner production. And all this culminates with Phantom Limb, which, pardon me for saying, is their masterpiece. I mean, dear Lord, they just struck gold with this melody, didn't they? The gentle builds and falls of these lines, supported by the magical guitar strum and the graceful layers of percussion that feel pulled straight out of the 60s. It's all so wonderful.
It is really vibrant, I'm not gonna lie. Sorry if I keep saying not gonna lie way too many times.
James Mercer's lyricism has always been cluttered in obscure imagery that can be tough to dig through. Here, we get a string of scenes referencing simple, rustic civilization, where lines are drawn and never deviated from, where traditional-minded people and simple values lead the trajectory of these lives, and yet always with a nagging feeling that something else lies ahead of the curve, if only we just break from this path. And with the additional subtext that this is about a lesbian couple trying to break out of their small, close-minded town, God, does it resonate all the more deeply.
I guess lyrics are definitely key.
To be fair, this brand of 2000s indie sound was always going to be a plus for me, but Phantom Limb simply stands head and shoulders above so much of it. It's soft, sweet, sentimental, absolutely gorgeous, and gay. So yeah, just about perfect in my eyes. My top 4 of this video could have been in any order. They're all about as flawless as music can get.
Oh boy.
This top 4 just feels correct right now. With that said,
oh boy,
we meet again, my friends.
Yo! Yes! 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 yes, 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 yes. Oh my God. Yes. I Can't Give Everything Away by David Bowie. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God. There are too many fucking words to describe how just powerful this is. Oh my God. It's, I mean, I've said this before, but this is the best, the absolute best David Bowie song. And funnily enough, it's from my favorite David Bowie album, Black Star. It's so good. I even have a CD copy of it. But on the topic of this track, for a lot of these, I'm just like, yeah, this is a great song. Yeah, this is a mess song. Yeah, this is an excellent song. Just short, sweet, to the point, because, some of my reasonings are kind of shallow, but dude, I have quite a bit to say about this one. Just, first off, the production is just beyond amazing, and the lyrics, they really just cut through like a knife, bro. They really just do cut through like a knife, and that harmonica. And that harmonica, like especially towards the beginning of it, like it may not seem like anything that much, but when you realize the harmonica is from a new career in a new town, that one instrumental from his Low album, that really elevates I Can't Give Everything Away to such a high level of quality that very few songs or tracks can reach in my eyes, dude. And that ending, just don't even get me started on that ending. Bro, it is so powerful. It actually leaves me terrified on occasion. Like, by the end of it, I feel like I'm on the verge of going to the next higher plane of existence with Bowie himself. Bro, I can't even... Fuck, dude, I can't even... God, I don't even know what else to say. This is just... like in my top 10 favorite tracks of all time at this point. And that 10 out of 10 is well deserved. And yeah, I also have the song at my number 3 on my own ranking, and yeah, this is just something else. Oh my God.
So, usually when I make these subscriber specials, I try to give each song about a dozen or so listens to really familiarize myself with them and feel comfortable with reviewing. But this particular song never entered my regular rotation.
Oh my God.
And it's not because it's a song I'm very familiar with at this point. I mean, I very much am. It's always been my single favorite track off of Black Star, even above
Me too! Me too.
It's more that every single listen takes a lot out of me, even 7 years later.
I can't give everything.
Oh my God. Yes! Yes!
The death of David Bowie occurred a mere 2 days after Black Star's release, and as a closing track, this turned out to be the last we'd ever hear from the distinguished performer. And even if you're not as emotionally indebted to Bowie as an artist, there's a humanity that comes forth in I Can't Give Everything Away that is impossible to deny.
This is all I ever meant. That's the message I sent.
While Lazarus had Bowie sounding at his most pained and exasperated, this song is a surrender, an acknowledgement that, yes, now is the time. Time to lay down and leave everything behind, for good. I know something's very wrong, but it won't be for much longer anyway.
With blackouts, hearts, with flowered news, with skull designs.
And this is presented to us through a dense coagulation of conflicting emotions. Tense drumming, triumphant strings, mournful harmonica, and Bowie's signature croon barely hanging on to it all. And yeah, knowing that he's right at the brink of death here makes this an incredibly tough listen. As ideal as it would be to approach death with courage, to leave the horror here in the living world, that deep, profound terror always remains. Sometimes it's no use trying to be the bigger person. It's fucking scary, and this song absolutely embodies that unspeakable anxiety, whether intentional or not. But you know, given the inevitable, let's just make some great art while we still can.
Oh my God. The sax solo, dude.
I I swear, I get chills every single time that saxophone pops into the mix, and this entire solo is a big highlight of this track. Saxophone makes everything better, for sure.
That guitar, man, oh my god!
And big ups to this guitar solo, which might somehow be even more gut-wrenching. In any case, it's endlessly remarkable how someone with such a long storied career, with too many classic songs and albums to count, can have so much agency over these final incredible moments he's sharing with us. Up to and including this operatic masterpiece of a swan song. That's just the magic of David Bowie himself. May he rest in eternal peace.
Amen.
You all know I love my
Amen.
Steely Dan.
Woo! Deacon Blues by Steely Dan. I wonder why I put this on my ranking here. Somewhere in my top 30. Yeah, I have it exactly at number 30. Yeah, Steely Dan are legends, man. Steely Dan are absolute legends. And then this song more than exemplifies it.
In my humble opinion, there are few more dreamier intros than this one right here. It's like floating on a cloud. Yeah, so Deacon Blues is absolutely Steely Dan's masterpiece. It's not even close. And I love Steely Dan.
That shape is my shame, there where I used to stand.
The sumptuous jazz flavors spinning along yacht rock grooves and fantastic harmonies, all wrapped in this deliciously nocturnal mood. Yeah, this is the stuff. But here's the interesting thing. While Steely Dan definitely have a sound, they'd often replicate that sound in ways that always feel unique. Tracks like Do It Again, Bodhisattva, King Charlemagne, and Peg, all undeniably their songs, also don't really sound anything like each other. Still, to me, Deacon Blues is the Steely Dan sound, completed to an absolute T.
Learn to work the saxophone. I play just what I feel.
And also typical to the band, this is the tale of a loser. The story of a man aiming to find success as a jazz musician, despite everything and everyone around him more or less betting on his failure. And it seems like even he is fully aware that he might not have what it takes.
They got a name for the winners in the world. I want a name when I lose.
I want a name when I lose is a line so simple yet so heartbreaking. It's a preemptive admission of defeat, but also a preemptive acceptance. The recognition that one simply doesn't have the spark that other more talented and charismatic people have, and moreover, hasn't taken all the best directions in life. These dreams of the big time might only just be that. Just dreams.
Drink scotch whiskey all night long.
Yeah, this is a really magical sounding song.
But rather than wallow in that enticing defeatism, there is but a glimmer of beauty here. The fight to soldier on with these unrealistic dreams, despite every card working against his favor. Sometimes these little absurdisms are what keep us going. It doesn't have to make sense. Should he die behind the wheel, at least he can say it was by his own accord. And of course, there's the centerpiece of this whole song, the sax solo that seems to play out the inner woes and complications of our protagonist. Saxophone makes everything better, for sure. This is just a beautiful
Amen to
song,
that.
y'all. Steely Dan's best-known work is
Sax
often very sardonic
rules.
and bitter, and while there's no lack of this here, they managed to balance out the pitch-black humor of the situation with empathy and human warmth to it all. It's really no surprise how this has become one of their most beloved songs. It's certainly the one I can see resonating with the most people, and above all else, man, this is gorgeous.
Oh, it's Leonard Cohen.
It's kind of cool that I get to choose one of my favorite songs of all time as a Liz pick, ain't it?
I believe that you heard your man.
Yo, master song by Leonard Cohen. I actually have it at number 31. It's a really excellent song. I mean, you know, the album Songs of Leonard Cohen stands behind The Doors' self-titled as my favorite album from the 60s. And if you want an example of that, just go listen to Master Song. There's just something about the lyrics that he writes that are just they really do leave an impact.
Master singing, and I was sick in bed.
Okay, so how do I do this? You see, it's difficult to talk about this song for numerous reasons. It's difficult because musically there's not a ton here. Mostly just Cohen's voice, guitar, and some lovely strings that trace along the background of it all. It's difficult because Leonard Cohen's lyricism is decidedly dense, but also highly symbolic, vague, and enigmatic.
He was just an umberless man in a chair, just come back from the war.
It's difficult because despite the intended meanings of this narrative concerning the intimate, strained relationships between a trilogy of characters, Cohen has stated himself that any interpretations of this work are valid, if the listener chooses to plant their own meaning into his words. It's difficult because even with all this said, why I love this song is less about what meaning I take from it and more about how it makes me feel. How Cohen's smoky voice hypnotizes me, the hold he takes over me when I listen, to which few other songs can ever match, not even other Cohen tracks.
You kneel for him to come. His body is a golden string that your body is hanging.
It's difficult because it's a song that's been with me nearly my entire life. One of the few songs I've never gotten tired of, and one I'm always craving to listen to again the moment it ends, like a ceaselessly passionate relationship. It's difficult because, while it's got that undeniably bleak, mystifying atmosphere that he is so fantastic at implementing, it's also one of the most comforting songs I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. And it's difficult because, well, it's Leonard frickin' Cohen. There's absolutely nothing easy about this guy's body of work.
Your eyes are wild and your knuckles are red and you're speaking far too low.
I've been thinking a while about how I want to tackle this song, knowing full well how much I love it, yet never being put in a position to articulate just why until now. And well, I think I've come to a satisfying conclusion. I didn't choose this song. This song chose me. As the second track off Cohen's debut album, and thus the second song I've ever heard from him, this is the very one that had got me obsessed with the musician way back when. And it's a train that I haven't gotten off since, as this is the very song of his that continues to mesmerize me again and again.
I believe
What
that
a
you heard
beautiful,
your
powerful song this one is.
And it's not for any reason that can be enumerated to any individual aspect, as I've been doing with songs in this entire video, hell, my entire channel. It's just one of the closest things to a spiritual experience I think I'll ever undergo in anything. So I'll just leave it at that. Hey, it's my video. I do what I want. Ha ha ha.
What's the number one? Oh god, oh, Superman's number one. I did not see that coming at all. Wow. Yeah, wow, I have it at number 65. Wow, that's I guess it's a wild take coming from me. I think this number one is kind of deserved. I don't mind this being number one. I definitely do understand the appeal of this, and even I think this is a good track. In the ha 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 ha's, I mean, they really do perk up the ears, don't they? But yeah, it's really good song.
There are a few things that come to mind when I listen to Laurie Anderson's Oh Superman, emphasis on few. As we immediately bask in the temperate, maddening glow of its singular looping syllable, the view of a large dystopian landscape stuck in the dead of night comes into frame. Human life is nowhere to be seen. Hell, life at all, really. Not after we've blown, burned, and decimated everything and everyone to smithereens.
Oh, Mom and Dad.
In its place, we have a device, a mysterious device. There's no practical purpose for it, now that there exists no one to ascribe any meaning to it. But as outsiders to the scene, we can surmise its destructive qualities. It is the only object generating warmth in this entire expanse, after all. We can only come to this very conclusion. Destruction for what means, though? What was it all for? Was it for anything at all? We could only stare in dreary bewilderment while this single lonely loop, like the voice of a cold god, laughs at the utter absurdity of it all.
This is the hand.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention this. I actually think this kind of has like Kraftwerk aesthetic to it. And that's absolutely a compliment. That's really a compliment.
I know I've said this a few times already, but there sincerely isn't any song quite like Oh Superman, a description that feels like it applies to this song more than any other out there. The soundscape is deceptively minimal, paper-thin layers of voice and synth that nonetheless signify a terrifying apocalypse impending. It's cold, unfeeling, yet glimmers of warmth and life peer through the edges every so often. As if to remind us of the precious, irreplaceable beauty humanity has left behind in favor of progress and power by any means possible.
And when justice is gone, there's always force.
It is a song that rebukes the pervasive coil of technological advancements in the name of patriotism, read militarism, poetically uncovering the glee with which systems and citizens are so willing to push aside the greater good in the name of violence, literal or otherwise. It's the culmination of all forms of anxiety. The anxiety over technical advancement, destructive military rule, the strong arm of rapacious capitalism, and most of all, it's the anxiety that one day all of this will be the end to us all.
So hold me, Mom, in your long arms.
And yet, through the bleakness, there is beauty. Namely, the beauty we are experiencing at this very moment, listening to the fascinating melodies and otherworldly atmosphere Anderson spins from the scraps and threads left in our wake. Even when it seems too hopeless to bear, the power of the human spirit triumphs and pulls us from the dark, lonely wreckage. And until the cruel hand of fate comes to lift each one of us up into the great beyonds, well, there's always Mom. Hi, Mom. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye. Wow. Wow. I'm standing ovation for this one. Standing freaking ovation for this one. This video was so good. Definitely worth the wait with that one. Damn it, my computer charger dropped. And yeah, that was Lyzette G's 6th subspecial. And yeah, this is probably gonna be one of the longest reaction videos I've ever done. You know what? Fuck it. The longest reaction video I've done. One of the longest videos I've ever made. You know, just reacting to this 2-hour-long behemoth, which was definitely worth the wait. Such a shame that Bleed and Admit It and Rope did not do so well. But I am very happy that my other 2 suggestions, Disenchanted and I Can't Give Everything Away, got ranked up so high. And you know, I even said that that those were like the 2 suggestions of mine that did make it in that I think you know they're probably gonna rank up very high, and I was right. I was definitely right. And with the latter, I Can't Give Everything Away. That track with that track, the redemption arc. It was strong on this one because I originally requested that track for Cacophony's subspecial, and it unfortunately did not make it in. So the fact that I gave this one another whirl, except this time, for Lyzette's subspecial. And the fact that it ranked up so high and in the top 4, and you got a perfect 10 out of 10 score, bruh, it literally just made my day. Thank you, Lyzette. And not only that, also thank you if you're watching this. I don't know if you're watching this, Lyzette, but just thank you, because it's videos like this and YouTubers like you that just really continue to rekindle my passion for actually writing scripts for, you know, my videos again, specifically my MSR content. Their Comforting Sounds review from the last special was the main reason why I wanted to write a script for MSR 20, because I really just want to be in like that headspace of actually just like caring what I'm talking about instead of just making these videos and just rushing them out last minute. And yeah, just on the topic of the video we just reacted to, it was phenomenal. I said that this was the best. I said this was going to be the best video of 2023. And man, it did live up to that title. It really did live up to that title. So many great songs. And just a few songs that I could see potentially grow on me. And even at this roster's worst moments, I do just like understand the like appeal of some of these. And before I end this video, I am now going to be accepting requests for RobGioReacts again. Yay! But here's the one gigantic rule for this. If you want to request anything for RobGioReacts, it has to be only one video. One and only one video, and that's it. It can't be more than one video. Otherwise, I'm not going to be, you know, accepting the request. And here's the fun catch, though. I'm also gonna be hearting 5 requests in the comment section of this video, and I will also put them on a voting ballot. And the request that gets the most votes will be the next video that I'll be reacting to for RobGioReacts. And yeah, RobGioReacts is back, baby! Yay! I'm not really sure how I'm gonna be able to like get these back into like at least the semi-regular rotation again. But you know, just hopefully, hopefully it doesn't take an eternity for RobGioReacts number 58 to come out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we've made it to the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, thanks for watching, you know, all the way through if you have. You're a real trooper. If you like this video, give it a like, share this one with your friends if you want to, and leave a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe as we're on the road to 9,000 subscribers. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.